Hey, how's it going, universe? Welcome to, I don't even know what we're calling this. We're calling it Nightcap. For right now, we're calling it Nightcap. It's a nice, cool, just a chill vibe. You know, bros, they come together in coffee houses. You know, maybe we'll read some poetry. You know?
What's up with my face? That looks so shiny. It's alright.
What? Your face is like artifacting.
Yeah, I'm artifacting hard.
He's artifacting everybody. I don't know. That's a technical term. That's like a highfalutin. It's like a hacker term.
Yeah, well, of course.
Yeah. See, well, you know, at least with the black and white, it's that class act.
I just look like a Frankenstein monster.
You're clearing up, buddy. That proactive's working. You're clearing up.
Oh yeah. But anyway, yeah, dude.
It's this is
interesting night.
Nightcaps or Nightcap, whatever I call it. I can't remember. This is gonna be the random stream at night.
Random stream.
Streams at night. We'll come together. We'll watch some silly videos. We'll keep it light.
Absolutely.
And we're all just hanging out, just in love, just loving it. Anyways, so before we start with the topics at hand, tonight we're going to be talking about what I think the Matrix 4 could possibly be about, or at least the tone of Matrix 4. I think some of the things, Dan and I actually have talked about this on a podcast before a little bit, but there was a new picture released the other day of Keanu Reeves doing some sort of charity event, and he's shaven.
That's unique, yeah.
Started the wheels turn. No, they are filming it. So I was
not with the new COVID restrictions, or will they just allow Hollywood to fucking?
I believe they wrapped, and they actually had a wrap party. And
they
called
wrapped already.
Yeah, but what they did was these sneaky fucks in Germany. You know, because Germany's the COVID restrictions are pretty.
Yeah, they
pretty
went
intense
lax recently. Yeah.
Well, you're still not allowed to congregate just for parties and stuff. So what they did for the wrap party, they called it a production day. They said they were filming.
Sure.
But damn, they weren't.
They weren't filming.
They were having a wrap party. They were having a goddamn party.
You could call it I guess a production day as far as like when they make the documentary for the films and stuff. You could say they were just filming. Yeah,
they're eating fucking finger sandwiches and watching blooper reels.
It still blows my mind, dude.
Sick.
That these fucking rich, affluent people can still have a chance to succeed.
Everybody's above the law. They're all above it. They're all above the rules.
Gavin Newsom having fucking dinners at a fancy ass French restaurant.
Hey man, people make mistakes.
All his friends. Yeah.
People make mistakes, brother. They make mistakes.
I guess you could say that.
To be man is to folly, my friend. You know?
Well, I mean, so what's he look like? Was he, do you got a picture?
Well, you saw the thumbnail, right?
I didn't actually.
Well, you see the thumbnail for this very live stream. I could drop you the...
Oh, I see it. No, I see it.
So, obviously they did that at the end of production because you can't shave his head during the meat of it. But I got some thoughts.
Must be some sort of rebirth.
You shut the fuck up, you son of a bitch.
Oh, my bad. I mean, it made sense.
What are you spilling the beans? You gotta let it build. Let some people in here.
I mean, it makes sense though. It must be cyclical. It's the whole point of the Matrix is it's cyclical.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you the general plot for the Matrix 4 tonight, everybody. Fucking hold your butts, okay? Also, it's Martin Scorsese's birthday today.
Okay, he's like what, 80 something now?
I think he's 79.
Wow,
getting
up there.
He's like 79. What's up, Jonathan?
Hey, bud.
He's 79. I watched Taxi Driver today.
Great film.
Oh, so fucking good, dude. It's on Netflix if anybody out there is interested in watching it themselves. But and it's one of those things you kind of just take it for granted. You're watching it and you're like, wow, man, this is such a good fucking movie.
And to think how between getting on Scorsese, between that and Raging Bull, I mean, like pre Goodfellas and his Casino and all that stuff, and there's just something about it was very magical because when you watch Taxi Driver, and it's got that great 70s or that jazz music that just
Yeah, the
kind of
Bernard Herrmann
manic
score. It's awesome.
just it's kind of manic, and you're just like, oh, I don't know how to feel about that,
It goes, hey, what's up, Voyage? How's it going?
Hey, how's it going, bud?
It's like it goes from like these really ominous like horns, like brrr, like almost like dissonant noises into like this like really nice jazz music. Honestly, I wanted to play the jazzy score from Taxi Driver, but I'll get popped.
Oh yeah,
I can't play that in the background because I'll get popped by the internet cops.
By the internet, dude, it is kind of wild with the whole internet.
Dude, YouTube, when you're live streaming, it'll tell you if you're in violation of copyright. When we did, we did that just a random live stream like last week when we first started doing this. I showed that scene from Antichrist with the fox saying "Chaos reigns."
Yeah.
While I had it on screen, while I was streaming it, it said in this little box here, it's like, you may be violating copyright. I was like, what?
That's nuts.
You gonna pull me off, robots?
I mean, how do they get away with this nonsense?
Well, Dan, like I've said before, Zoobox is the second most listened to podcast by the CIA.
Honestly, it probably would be. That like when we're probably gonna have someone come into our lives in the next like 6 months, and they're gonna try to get us to go after Governor Whitmer or something.
Somebody's gonna befriend us and radicalize us?
Yeah, probably. It's like, hey man, I got the inside scoop.
Yeah, Voyage, we're going to be just doing kind of general convo. I have some sort of thoughts, some theories about what the new Matrix is going to be about. There's an article in Psychology Today that I found fascinating. I didn't know if Danner was going to be here or not tonight, so I just was, pulling up articles and stuff about sex robots, the inevitability of the sex robots.
Yeah.
And also probably just some light, fun Martin Scorsese talk. Is celebrate the man's birthday, celebrate his legacy,
I mean, he is a fucking genius. I mean, as far as film, I think he's obviously one of the greats. We got to put him in there.
Scorsese? Yeah, I think so. I think he's earned that. Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, even in but like the continuous greatness. What's his worst movie? Because we know he has a lot of greats. What's his worst movie?
I'm not a huge fan of Gangs of New York. I don't think it's bad. I just kind of think it's boring. I don't even know what
I mean, Gangs, listen, my problem with Gangs of New York. It's that goddamn accent Leonardo DiCaprio can't fucking hang on to. And Cameron Diaz, but who's really great is John C. Reilly's great in it.
No, it has great performances.
And then Daniel Day-Lewis is the Butcher, Bill the Butcher. Dude, that opening sequence, though, is so fucking fantastic.
What? The sequel? The sequence?
No, the sequence. The opening sequence.
Oh, dude, it promises a movie that doesn't kind of quite happen. There's something muddled about that movie. I've never been able to put my finger quite on why I don't enjoy it a ton. I don't really know why. I just kind of I try every couple of years. I go back and I watch it again. I'm like, maybe this time Gangs of New York will click. And it just never really does.
Yeah, let's see. So Voyage says, new Matrix. Wait, hold up. That sounds awesome. Love the originals. Also, sex robots became a mainstream thing as reproduction becoming like a rich person thing. Ooh.
Maybe Voyage is the CIA agent.
Voyage probably is the CIA, but we love you, bud. You're here. You can radicalize us anytime.
Radicalize us into the not having babies future.
Yeah.
Jonathan Littell, Shutter Island, love it. So do I. I actually really love Shutter Island.
Shutter had to grow on me, honestly. It took me a couple watches before I really appreciated it, I think.
It's a movie that is like an homage to old movies.
Yeah, it just didn't feel modern.
It's not. It's not supposed to. In the same way that if you watch his other movie from the 90s, another kind of underrated Scorsese flick, but it's been kind of coming back, being critically reassessed, is Cape Fear. He does...
Dude, I liked Cape Fear.
No, I have always loved Cape Fear, but what I'm saying is...
That scene when he's in the fucking theater smoking a cigar, laughing.
Was they watching Problem... I think they're watching Problem Child.
Yeah. It's so great.
But I've always loved that movie, and if people don't know, it's a remake of a movie with Gregory Peck and Robert Mitchum. The Nick Nolte is the Gregory Peck character. Robert Mitchum is the De Niro character, and it comes from a particular era of thriller kind of noirish movies, and that's what Scorsese is kind of doing in Cape Fear, and he does a great job.
I thought everyone was great in it. Nick Nolte, like you said, is fantastic. What's her name? the woman that was in all those movies back in the day. I can't fucking remember her name right now. Janice,
Oh,
or Juliette something Lewis. Is that her name?
Juliette Lewis, when she was young, she
Yeah.
won an Academy Award for that part.
Yeah.
Or at least got
Let's
nominated.
see. Voyage says, "What? No, I'm not. I promise." Well, we'll trust you, man. We trust you.
I mean,
Littell says, "Not supposed to be at all." I guess I don't know. Maybe what he's referencing there, but he goes, "I just loved how he did Shutter Island. That's one I would show people in the Mississippi a lot." You know, like I don't know. I like Shutter Island. Don't get me wrong. I do like it. It's a good little trick, you know. It's a good fun trick that they play on you.
I don't think the story itself is that incredible. I think it's a good story, but it's kind of rote. Like, you've seen a movie, you can kind of call it and see it coming a mile away. I think it's just the craftsmanship. Like, it's much better than the material itself. That really puts it over the top for me. And the cast is amazing. I mean, everybody in Shutter Island is top notch.
But really, when is Scorsese? What damn, dude? I don't know, Wolf of Wall Street. He's got so many good movies he's made in the last decade. You know, 15 years that are just...
There's probably a couple in the 90s, maybe one. Kundun, I've never really loved.
I've never seen it.
The Age of Innocence, I have to kind of go back.
Is that with Daniel Day-Lewis?
Yeah, The Age of Innocence, yeah.
Yeah. I saw you.
He went through a period, I was like, once he did Last Temptation of Christ, he kind of did a little more artsy stuff, a little more soul-searchy stuff, like about spirituality, and that's kind of what Kundun's kind of, you could kind of pair it with The Last Temptation of Christ. It would make for an interesting double feature, honestly. I mean,
even his, The King of Comedy is fun.
Oh, The King of Comedy is a movie that has aged like a fine wine. Like, it slays me.
Honestly, it ruined the Joker for me. If I had to be, it really does. It ruins the new Joker.
Yeah, dude, if you watch Taxi Driver, The King of Comedy, you're like, oh, it's the Joker.
Yeah, Joker. It literally, which they, alluded to that, I guess, people.
No, Todd Phillips knows that. Like, he admits that. It's not a secret. Yeah.
He says, Void says he's not sure. I'm not sure I'm familiar with Shutter Island as much as I think I should be. Check it out, Voyage, man. It's good.
It's a great time. It's like, you will not be bummed that you revisited it if you've seen it, or if you've never seen it, definitely give it a shot.
Now, if the Transformers movies are some of your favorite movies, well, you might have to, maybe you won't like it. Littell says Wolf on Wall Street for sure, and The Departed in 06. Oh, yeah, man. The Departed, man. That's probably one of my favorite parts in that whole movie is Alec Baldwin and Mark Wahlberg. Those guys are amazing in that film.
Yeah.
I know they play such small fucking roles, but who put the fucking cameras in this place? Who's you? Yeah, it's like fucking Patriot Act, like he fucking loses his mind.
It adds like a great texture to it. There's all like these little bit parts that are little flavor texture things that I've always really loved. I've always just
Silence was great. Would you think of
Silence is going to be reassessed later, and people are going to be like, "What? Why didn't people love Silence when it came out?" That's what's going to happen. I
really like it for it is so well. I know a lot of people don't like Andrew Garfield in it, but I actually don't mind him. It's a big role. That's a big role to take on. That's a hard one, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's something about Silence that sticks with
if I'm being honest, I kind of wish Adam Driver had the lead part.
I know we talked about that.
But I think he's actually I think why Scorsese probably wouldn't have done that is Adam Driver looks too imposing. There's something kind of vulnerable and weak about Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. Or Andrew, yeah.
Yeah, like he comes off as more like childlike in a certain way. I think you can sell his naivety better for part. Naivete.
Let's see. Voyage says, I like the Transformers movies. I just think someone with more of an imagination, not just money and explosion and action, would have done it better. You know, dude, like I can watch those movies for what they are, but I wouldn't put them up in like some sort of high place. I'm just talking shit, but
I would say the first one is like entertaining, populist entertainment, and the rest of I think those are every other one is like a nightmare. It's like I and Ryan, we saw
It was the moon, Dark Side of the Moon, wasn't it?
Yeah, we saw Bark at the Moon in the theaters, dude.
Yeah.
And we fucking we started by the end of the movie. There wasn't really anybody else in the theater except for a few of Ryan's high school friends that just happened to be there.
Yeah.
And we were just like, "What the fuck?" The movie
we're
ends.
walking out.
The movie ends with the hero, who fucked off and allowed the city to be destroyed to prove a point to humans, like, you need us, buddy.
Yeah, I remember being like, what?
He fucking execution style kills this dude while he's begging for his life.
It was kind of badass.
And literally, the movie ends 10 seconds later for your toy children's action movie. I was like, what the fuck? This is fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah. Oh, look, we got Walter. Walter's up into the bitch. What up, Walter?
Walter calls it Westworld Scanners.
Yeah. And Transformers is definitely, as mediocre. That's what Voyage says. Westworld, I only really got into the first season, so I can't really comment too much on it unless you're talking about sex robots. I'm familiar, which we're getting into later. Scanners.
Scanners is a David Cronenberg movie. You'd like it. It's on HBO, I think.
I think I've seen it years ago. I just haven't seen that in a long time.
It's a fun movie. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's fun.
I mean, is it like Videodrome where you're like, what is going on? That's the longest 90-minute movie I've ever watched. Every time I watch it, I'm like, there's no fucking way this movie's 90 minutes. It trips you out, man. Oh, he's saying the movie Westworld 1974. I've never seen it, man.
Yeah, with Yul Brynner. It's been a long time since.
Is that what the show's based off of, though?
Yeah. Oh, it's okay. Michael Crichton. Michael Crichton, the guy who.
Dude, what a thief. Okay, we all know about fucking.
Yeah.
Littell's like, what? Watch it.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I gotta reacquaint myself with it.
Maybe I wonder if we could get away with doing like a live stream watch party with people.
Well, there is a way you can do that on Twitch if you use
Would you guys want to do that?
Twitch movies.
Maybe we could do like a Twitch movie. We could all get on there.
Well, what we can do is we can start a watch party while we're streaming on Twitch, and people can come in the chat. But I don't know if both of us can be there at the same time. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, whatever. I mean, you might be able to snag in my audio or something.
Yeah, we'll have to work on that. We'll have to troubleshoot, figure that out.
If you guys would be interested, dude. Future World is my favorite. That's what Walter says too.
Actually, I never saw Future World. Future World was the sequel to Westworld.
Okay, and there's Voyage. But there's definitely be down.
Written and directed by Michael Crichton, the guy who wrote Jurassic Park and stuff.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but he stole for the 13th Warrior. He wrote that story.
No, actually, there's some history here. Now, if you are a loyal Zooboxist, I actually reviewed the 13th Warrior, and I told that story a few months ago. But I'll tell it again here, just for Dan, just so he doesn't look like a goon.
Isn't it the story of Gilgamesh and shit? Or not?
No,
Gilgamesh?
it's Beowulf. It's Beowulf.
Beowulf.
So what he made like basically a bet with his friends. His friends were like, Beowulf's a classic, but it's just like literary. It's too, like, the average person would not like engage with that story. They just wouldn't be able to connect with it. And he's like, I think you're wrong. So what he did was he kind of updates Beowulf and writes the book and puts out, and then the book ends up being a huge hit, and he won like $100 from his buddy or something. Because the book is like 140 pages long. It's not very long. It's very short. They changed a whole lot in the movie.
Dude, I remember being a fucking kid. That scene, like the first, 20, 30 minutes, whatever, or not even that, probably there's that 10-minute transition period where they're going from wherever to wherever. Mm-hmm. And they're like, he's just listening. I try to do that around a bunch of people that like spoke a different language in like Turkey. Doesn't work, bro.
You tried it? Try to sit by the campfire and just listen?
Didn't speak for 6 months.
I love it.
Thought I was.
I love the reveal too, because they did that as a conceit because it's a movie.
Hey, they had to. But he's such an intellect. He could do that.
It's so funny when he like comes out with the and he's just like, "How do you know our tongue? I listened."
Yeah, I listened. Antonio Banderas with like Zorro and
the Mask of Zorro is a lot of fun.
The Mask of Zorro is fun, but what's another Antonio Banderas?
Desperado.
Desperado, those are fun. Once
Once
Upon a
Upon a
Time
Time in
Mexico, those are
Mexico.
good. Those are good. I just never seen him as like an actor, you know, like as a.
Well,
He's,
that's not his fault. It's your fault.
I guess I just never like, you know, it's like Keanu Reeves or something. Like he's not an actor.
Walter asked about what about the Bashki animated flicks? I like them. He did like the Lord of the Rings, Fire and Ice,
Oh, okay.
Wizards.
We had on VHS. We had the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the
back
Lord
in
of the Rings
day.
one back in the day. I actually watched them not that long ago, like a few months ago.
Voyage says Jurassic Park is my favorite movie.
No, I agree
Yeah.
with you. Jurassic Park is a near flawlessly executed movie, and my kid is like super into dinosaurs, so I watched Jurassic Park probably like 25 times this past year.
I mean, I like Jurassic Park. I like Sam Neill. Period. Mouth of Madness, dude. Into the Mouth of Madness is still.
Classic.
It still hangs. It still hangs, dude.
I love that movie. It's one of
It
my
still
all-time
hangs.
favorites.
Still hangs dong, dude. It's still out there. It's such a good concept, even though, you know, that's Stephen King, right?
Yeah.
He did that. He wrote that.
No, he didn't write that. No,
He didn't write that.
John Carpenter and I think somebody else co-wrote it, and they based it on Stephen King.
Oh, okay, that's what.
Like the character Sutter Kane, the author, is based on Stephen King.
Yeah, okay.
Do you
That's
read
what I knew
Sutter
it was called.
Kane? That's a great movie. I love
Dude,
it. Probably the last good Carpenter movie, honestly.
It's so creepy. It's such a creepy concept, especially when he's in the insane asylum and you're like, oh my god, and then you hear the things and you're like, this fucking sucks. And just slight dip over into sci-fi though, horror, you know, with Event Horizon, where that first hour is so solid, man. It just they should remake that movie.
Well, apparently they're putting Scream Factory's putting out a version of it in January, and everybody's hoping that they found all the deleted footage.
What do you mean, like re-releasing?
Like there is a unreleased cut of the movie, the director's cut, which has an almost entirely different third act, which would solve the problems that the movie has, where it literally becomes a fist fight between Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne, because it's such a good like phantasmagorical horror in space, like really creepy and disturbing. It's just, it needs more character development. It needs to be like 20 minutes longer, and it needs to have a stronger ending. Like that was always my problem with that movie, because I love the first like hour 15 of that movie.
Oh, it's so creepy.
The set design, it's the best thing Paul W.S. Anderson ever did. Yeah, because that's the guy, he goes on to do like all the Resident Evil movies and shit like that. And I don't know what happened, because I'm sorry, I'm just not a big fan of the Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil stuff, but
Walter might be the CIA dude. He says, I know the site for free movies is awesome. Puts
actually,
Netflix
you know
to
what?
shame.
You know what's a great, and it's a free one, is Tubi. Tubi's awesome. I was surprised. Sure, you got to watch it with commercials, but it's free. And they have a great selection, surprisingly enough. So if you don't have access...
every 20 minutes or something, you have to watch like a 15-second commercial or...
Well, yeah, 15, 20 minutes, like 90 seconds of commercials or whatever.
Oh, God. Dude, it's like, you know how I remember back in the day watching on TV, you know, you'd be like, fuck. But you go get a drink or something. And
yeah.
You come back, and it was also exciting. Our children will never have to grow up with that instant, like, you know, we have that instant gratification.
Oh, I think that stuff's probably coming back, Dan. Like, I think all the streaming services are about to like become like bundle deals, and you're going to get versions that you can have with like commercials.
Like how you could pay for HBO back in the day, and it would be ad free. I mean, they basically do that now, though, where you can pay without ads, like on Hulu.
Well, no, some services have that and some don't. But Netflix has already been talking about it. So this is to catch up with people. Fast and the Furious was a good trilogy. After Tokyo, they lost that interesting story aspect, in my opinion. I think the first few Fast and the Furious movies I can give a pass. Maybe Fast 5. I can have fun with that one. After that, I just can't get into them. Jonathan asked, you ever watch Soylent Green? Of course I've seen Soylent Green. Charlton Heston. It's people. Okay? Gotta watch out. BTVs is an app. It has a single ad in the beginning that's like 5 seconds, and you can literally watch anything. Oh, I'll have to check that out. BTV. Because a lot of times, just because I do, a lot of movie reviews of my own, I do the Zoobox Goes to the Movies. It's sometimes it's because movies are coming on and off a streaming service. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's on Amazon Prime. And then I'll go back like 3 days later to find it and it's gone. And I'm like, what the fuck? So, but things like Tubi have come in handy because they sometimes will have that kind of stuff, some of that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the first thing, I think we hit the movies. Congratulations to 79th birthday for Martin Scorsese. What's next on the agenda, Sean? We got a video. I know you want to have us watch.
We're gonna do some silliness, just have some fun tonight, and then after we do this, maybe we'll talk about The Matrix. This video is about a minute long. After that, we'll talk about The Matrix.
Sick.
See where it goes. See where it all goes, everybody.
This will lead into it perfectly.
So we got some young up and coming rappers. These people are bringing the hotness. Okay, and let's just hear from them. Let's just hear it, right? So this is their demo tape they just dropped.
I can't believe it. All my dreams came true. America voted.
Like somebody uploaded
And
this.
the country turned blue. We wanted Joe Biden for the next 4 years. We wanted Kamala, and now there's no need to fear. And who's commander-in-chief?
Joe Biden,
The one that Trump can't defeat.
Joe Biden,
Who can fix the
Joe
economy?
Biden,
Joe Biden, baby.
Joe Biden.
Who will treat us equally?
No.
Anyways,
That is so cringe.
well, I have
It's so cringe.
I have some like thoughts about it. I'm like, how many times did they do that? Because that even that wasn't good, right? That's not good.
I
Right?
mean, that was probably what you say, like fourth, fifth take, or were these people just like, fuck it, 2 takes, second take was better than the first, let's let it rip.
Jonathan says, "I literally hate you, Sean. Sorry, man. It had to be done. Had to be done."
No violence, kill him with kindness, Voyage.
Well, like, there's just that.
Dude, honestly though, I just want to see the prequel to this when the election's overturned and Trump wins. Nah, I don't know.
Dan's keeping
That
the
would
hope
be
alive
so-
over there.
Dominion is.
Hey, have you guys heard about
Release
this
the
thing called
Kraken,
Dominion?
Sydney. Release the Kraken, Sydney.
Yeah, I like, do you think they did this on a lark?
I don't know, man.
Or do
but
you
it's-
think that they, like, do you think that this was, like, take 6?
I would say this is like at least a few takes, at least because the chick was right on time. She knew exactly where she was coming in. The guy was on time. There was no,
But he's really off key for most of his performance.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's a good singer.
No,
maybe
he's not
just ripping.
he's not a good singer. Maybe he's more of a rapper. He's like one of these guys. Like, listen,
Well,
I
it's
flow.
definitely not rap. This is more of an R&B.
Well, this is R&B, but what I'm saying is, how sometimes rappers will have R&B sections, and then they have that singing part where you're like, oh, you auto-tune this dude's voice.
See, Voyage believes me, dude. He's not a plant. He said he might win. Not gonna lie, he might possibly.
See you later, Jonathan.
All right, see you, Jonathan, man. It was good hanging out, man.
Listen, I'm just saying, Voyage sounds like something the CIA would say to try to radicalize Dan.
Nah, I don't know. Like these people, man. These people that, it's just so gross to me. I don't know if you guys heard the MAGA song, where they redid YMCA with MAGA.
No, I didn't hear that. No.
Oh man, yeah, you got to look it up, dude. Look it up.
Well, you can look it
Put
up.
it up. Put it up, dude. Put it on. It's pretty funny.
Hold on. Sorry, everyone. This is like basically a precursor to the next thing. What is it?
It's the fucking, just type in I can't remember. It's like Ricky Rebel or something. Rebel MAGA. Just type that in, see what happens. Like it's something. He's a part of the LGBTQ community.
Is this gonna hurt my brain?
Yeah, it's gonna hurt you.
Wait, is it?
I mean, it's
worse
better
or
than that.
Okay, it's better than that.
It's better than that. Honestly, it is better than that. You know.
And what
It's
is it
like
called? Ricky Rebel?
Something Rebel. Like just type in YMCA MAGA or something. I don't know. Like it'll pop up. Something Rebel.
Okay, I'm gonna just do YMCA MAGA.
It's fucking
Click clack, click clack.
Click clack.
Is this the one that came out 2 months ago?
Yeah.
2.0.
It's
Holy
Yeah.
shit, Dan! If we get fucking booted for this, I'm gonna
Nah, I mean it's
Take it out of your
it's a
paycheck.
parody. It's a parody.
take it out of your paycheck, buddy. No, I'm saying yeah, but the source music might be. Of course, I saw some of the people in it. Joy Vila. Oh yeah, of course she's in there.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Voyage says, I mean, if I was gonna radicalize, I could give y'all a conspiracy about aliens. Kung Flu is funny as hell. Yes.
All right.
We'll see. We'll see how this goes, man. Oh yeah. Yep. This is it.
This is it. Dan's excited. Like
It's just like pretty.
he's
It's
fucking
pretty
seen
epic.
it. He's
Oh
ready.
yeah. I don't know if this is the one I've seen, but this might be it.
I hope
Like,
it is. This is.
The,
It's the only
no,
one.
it's the right song.
Damn.
Just like women, help make America great. We are all in this together.
I swear to God, if this fucking
Oh,
gets us
yeah.
booted off of YouTube. All right, how to get? Yeah. This is awful, Dan. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
painful.
It's pretty awful.
Like what the fuck? This is like. How many views
I
does
mean-
this have?
I don't know.
Well, Ricky Rebel, we just got you a few more.
But it's a good message, you know?
This reminds me of the. It reminds me of the Ron Paul rock or whatever. You remember that one?
I can barely hear you.
All right, that's quite enough of that.
Yeah, that's enough.
That's enough.
Is it like it's better than the other song? Okay, we got to give it that. But I mean, at least the message is there. It's not like a terrible message. It's not, what it's standing against everything they say that Trump supporters are. It's like a bunch of women. It's like, that's cool, man. You got gay people, you got straight people, you got Joy Vila,
Oh yeah, Joy Vila seems a little
She's out there, man.
oh
She's
crazy.
out there.
I
You know
heard
what,
she was a
though?
Scientologist.
I think she was, or something like that. I heard something about that. She lives in Nashville, and only a couple hours away. You
Damn.
never know, dude.
Dan, look her up.
Look her up. Look her up.
Look her up. All right, Voyage, I got you, buddy. We'll check it out. We're vibing. This is what Nightcap is all about.
Oh yeah.
We're vibing. We just got to be responsible producers. So you got to have things to talk about. But we'll go where the night takes us.
Yeah, we'll go where it takes us. It says, "What the fuck, bro?" by Kung Flu.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up now.
Okay.
We will give it a shot, my friend. Listen,
Let's do it.
I feel are we about to become radicalized, Voyage?
I think so.
Is this
I
part of
feel
your
it.
plot, sir? Is this part of your plot? All right, let's go.
You don't hear them talking about COVID. COVID. To be specific, COVID-19. The name gets further and further away from China as opposed to calling it the Chinese virus. Kung flu, the Chinese virus. Kung flu, the Chinese virus. Don't you understand, you dumb son of a bitch? Kung flu, the Chinese virus. Testing is a double-edged sword. They test and they test. People don't know what's going on. We got this, they got this. You do testing, you're gonna find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down. You know what? We got another one over here. The young man's 10 years old. He's got the sniffles. That's a case.
I like what's his name
Thank you, China.
in the background, the hype man.
Yeah.
Chinese virus. Kung flu, the Chinese virus. Don't you understand, you dumb son of a bitch? Calling it kung flu, the Chinese
Virus.
Despite the fact that I've done a phenomenal job. He lied. I say.
Oh, we got Jose in the house. What's up, babe?
There was only one
Fire
person
as
that
shit,
died.
man.
I ran for politics once, but I became president. You're so lucky I'm president. There's a limit to what we can achieve. I stand
He really is like a rapper. That's why rappers like him.
It's this cadence.
Chinese virus. Kung flu.
No, I'm talking about the braggadociousness.
Don't you understand, you dumb son of a bitch? Calling it kung flu, the Chinese virus. If I lose an election over that, you know what? This country's in big trouble. Big trouble.
Hey, dude, that was
Ominous.
fun, man.
Ominous.
Yeah,
that was
what the
definitely
fuck,
better
bro?
than it was better than the other one. I mean, the other one's more like,
Well,
you know.
yeah, yeah, we know.
It reminded me of I guess you couldn't hear me, but like the remember the Ron Paul rock?
Yeah,
Do you remember
yeah,
that?
Yeah, that dad was in love with. Yeah.
Dude, like
What
this
up,
is
what
the
up,
way-
Jose, man? I hope all's good with you, man.
Dan, you're like dad in this scenario with that MAGA.
No, I mean I'm not into
The
it, but I was
YMCA
sitting
MAGA.
there- I was sitting there, you know, I'm
Damn.
watching it, but like, listen. This is the
Denial.
thing. You got a group of people that came together with a good message, and is it like, you know?
Yeah, but they're all like kind of weird
it-
Z-list celebrity wannabes.
Yeah, like that's fine.
it's
Well,
cringe.
Joy Villa won a Grammy shot, so let's not.
Did she
let's
win a
not-
Grammy?
Yes.
Or is she invited to the Grammys?
No, she won a Grammy.
How did she get to the fucking Grammys?
She has music. It's not my cup of tea.
I've
Oh,
never
boy, it just cringes crap. I agree, dude.
Voyage. See, this is more the CIA talk.
I just sit there and I go, I'm like, whatever, dude. Like, I don't care, but I mean, I wouldn't be playing it in my car. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna be driving.
Would you
down
play
the
the
street
Chinese
blasting
virus? Would you?
MAGA.
Would you do what we
Oh
just
yeah,
saw?
well that one I would. That one's hilarious. It's
I'm
worth-
just saying. Would you do it?
yeah, 100%, 100%.
You'd be pulling up, get a girl on a grinder or whatever you use. Pull up to her house.
It's that. Listen, you can't say that MAGA, that YMCA cover, whatever. It's better than. See, like they put more effort in, at least. Like there's something there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's something there. I don't know. Not my cup of tea, but I respect it. Whatever, man. It's got some views. It's got a couple million, whatever.
Listen, I'll tell you
No.
straight up right now. I do not respect it.
Do not.
Well, because
Uh-uh.
it's like I said, it's Z-list celebrities like kind of glomming onto a niche like audience thing because they know that MAGA supporters are so like a lot of them are really die hard. They'll
They're
eat that
fanatical,
shit up.
yeah.
So that's just their pathway to like being kind of famous, quote unquote, right?
I guess, but maybe they really care about the movement too. You know, I don't know. Who knows?
Reveal is so weird though.
It is weird. I'm not saying it's not weird, but some people, you know, when I think the quote unquote, I can't remember. I think it was Vox or somebody called it Trumpism, which is the new, you know, term for far right and all these. It's just garbage. But there is a large swath of people in this country that rejected the liberal or the, I guess you say the woke ideology, And that's really why Trump is anti-establishment. When Trump is in the White House, he's not making fun of poor people. He's making fun of the establishment. When Hillary Clinton's in the White House, she's making fun of poor people, talking shit on poor people. Like those are the differences between someone like Trump. I just don't see him making fun of like poor people. Maybe like evangelicals, like people say that he's made fun of them.
Everybody dunks on everybody at some point, like, and that's fine. But it's about the general attitude where he doesn't have an elitist vibe, even though he is technically an elitist. But like he doesn't put that vibe out there. Like there's like this kind of sense of grandeur or holier than thou, a narcissism that comes along with some of that stuff that's often unhealthy.
Yeah.
And Trump does not actually put that vibe out there. Whether he does or not, I have no idea. But
I mean, but they were making fun of him for eating a well-done steak with ketchup.
Well, that's fucking
that's
disgusting, and he should know better.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's like when
honestly,
a poor
Dan,
person,
if I knew
when
that,
a poor person sees that, maybe they go, "Oh, well, I have to."
Dan just said, you know what Dan just said? He said that poor people have no class.
Well, they just don't have. But that's the thing. What defines class? And Donald Trump eats at McDonald's. Donald Trump, will literally bring McDonald's into the White House and not be ashamed of it and show pictures of him in front of a table.
I knew what you were watching.
Maybe he's getting a deal.
I know what you were watching before you came on here.
What? You talking about Tim? You talking about Tim Pool?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
No, but
he said Voyage says Trumpism is just a way to hold on to insulting and attacking the right. I agree. I think it's a way to try to classify people into these subgroups to, like you said, basically to attack them, to call them racist, to continue it going, because you can't call all Republicans racist anymore. It's just not going to bode well, No,
and there's going to be this niche community of MAGA people that are going to be able to attack. Voyage says, every conversation with someone from the left that's actually wanting to talk to me always acts like they are better than you. Well, I think and I think it happens on all sides depending on who you talk to, right? There is kind of like this assumption that your way of thinking is correct. Oftentimes people are waiting for their turn to talk rather than listening so they can actually engage in a real conversation with you, because the reality is, like, nothing is perfect and nobody is ever going to be completely 100% right. Like, where we find solutions is identifying the problem and then coming to a compromise. Hey, what's up, Maverick?
Oh, Mav, what up, guy? Yes, man, everything's good. How's everything with you, man? Glad to see you on.
And it's too bad, but we always at Zoobox, as a kind of a philosophy or whatever, that's kind of where we come from. I don't think we're trying to really browbeat anybody into a particular opinion. We will state our cases, try to make the best arguments that we can possibly make for the things that we believe. Mm-hmm. And and we as a collective, we do not always agree with each other. It's important to stay open-minded. So the people are talking to each other in the chat. We got love is blooming in the chat room.
That's what we do.
Voyage
Wait
says,
until the.
Sorry. No. Voyage says, I try to stay open, but if I'm being berated and I'm told I'm racist and stupid, kind of puts a wedge between everyone. Hey, I totally agree. You cannot actually have a productive conversation with a person like that. You just can't. And that's not your fault. You can be like, hey, I tried. And you can go away and you can sleep at night,
Yeah.
Papa Sean told you so.
There's something to be said, though. We all to be ripping, dude. We need to be ripping, and we need to keep fighting the good fight. Like, I think if there's one thing that Trump exposed is that there is, and even the far left showed that there is an ability to access the ivory tower from outside the, normal establishment. And people like Bernie, Elizabeth Warren, that gives them a lot of hope. Seeing someone like Trump making it in office.
Yeah. No, it does.
I mean,
honestly, it shows you that somebody that's not part of the establishment can break through.
Until the Dominion software gets in there.
Which, like, to me, like, we've talked about this on past podcasts and whatnot. It's like, 2016, I just didn't believe in the electoral process. I really didn't. I just didn't. I honestly almost was at the point where it's like, it feels very predetermined. It feels like a game show. Wasn't really I was interested in it for the fun of just watching it and making fun of it.
Well, you got to admit, 2016 was a little bit different, though. Like, there was a little bit different.
No, but Trump actually just winning. I didn't even vote for Trump in 2016, but Trump winning was to me was like, oh, maybe we can have an effect. Like maybe we should try. Maybe I should stop being so apathetic about my
they
political
fucking,
position.
Until they fucking manipulate shit. They're finding thousands of votes in fucking Georgia.
Well-
Oh, we forgot. Oh, fuck.
Hold on, buddy. We're
saying.
gonna sit on that for
We'll
the night because we
we'll
want to
talk
wait
about
to
that
see how
tomorrow,
things
but-
shake out tomorrow because some of that stuff is breaking tonight. So tomorrow night we're gonna do another live stream, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come back. We're gonna be talking a lot about I think the alleged voter fraud and what's going on with that stuff. I'm gonna try to catch up myself tomorrow afternoon and get all that shit straight.
Yeah.
Voyage says the far left seem to have an I am the resistance mindset while everyone else is looking at him side-eyed like, do what?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's become an identity. I don't think it's healthy for anybody to have their political ideology as part of a massive part of your identity. Like, whoever is in office should not be this thing that makes or breaks you. Like, that's why they have this Trump derangement
unless
syndrome
fucking
thing.
Biden is trying to bring in the Great Reset. Fuck that shit,
Well,
dude.
everybody is now. They keep talking
I know.
about it, which is...
Listen, we'll talk about that tomorrow. I think that'd be a good thing to talk about tomorrow.
Nightcaps
So-
is not about this. No, I'm joking.
So don't worry, guys. Tomorrow night, that was a little taste of the conversation we're gonna be having tomorrow night. So
right now, I think it would be a good time. We're going to transition to a little bit more movie talk, so I hope you guys are okay with that. We'll be talking about The Matrix 4, which just wrapped principal photography. And before we get into that, okay, Maverick asked a question, so we're going to answer it. Do you think if Biden gets in the establishment, we'll close ranks and we'll see less active and effective populist presidents elected from now on? That is the danger, right? Is that the establishment on both sides are going to close ranks. Because I don't even think that most of establishment Republicans, they play ball with Trump, but I think they like Trump? No, I do not. I really don't.
I think it's one of those things where the movement, it matters more than the politicians. I mean, that's why we have to ensure our elections are fucking solid. And I honestly, dude, after seeing everything and, Sidney Powell's going to release the Kraken, we can at least admit that there's something obviously very wrong with the way that we commit or conduct our elections. And I think if we can't have I want like fucking cameras pointed at every poll observer being watched. See, why didn't they do that this time around? Have fucking cameras at every single poll station where people are
actually, because
doing the ballots,
if COVID
and then,
is
then
the
have
problem.
have a fucking Republican just standing there watching the video. Was this Ocean's 11? They're gonna switch out the fucking feed, create a loop.
Dun.
But you have some people on the floor watching, making sure, whatever. I don't know, man. It's just like maybe we should make election fraud more of a punishable offense. Like, I don't know, life in prison.
I don't know if it should be life in prison. I think
No, why not?
Because people make mistakes. Like,
You know
I'm
what,
not gonna-
Sean? This
People
is our
are-
election. This is our president. It's the Constitution. You broke the Constitution. Goodbye.
You fucking broke my fucking ass.
You broke my fucking
piece of
ass.
shit.
But anyway, all right. Let's get
All
back.
right, so-
let's get back to the Matrix.
So we're gonna talk about The Matrix 4, wrapped principal photography.
What do you think the
in Germany.
name's gonna be?
I don't know.
So let's go. We had Matrix. Well, hold on. We had Matrix, Revolutions. What's up? No.
The Matrix,
was
the Matrix
Reloaded.
Reloaded, and then Revolutions.
So it's gonna be an R. It's probably gonna be like Rebirth, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds hacky enough that it could possibly be real.
I think Rebirth might
How about-
be. Would it be another?
Or would they just go?
Retarded?
Would they just go?
Retarded? Maybe.
Or would they just go with the simple The Matrix Returns?
No, the Matrix Reformation. You know?
Actually, The Matrix Reformed, or something
might be it.
that might be something. The Matrix.
What do you guys
Reformation.
think it will be?
Yeah, throw if you have any thoughts, what you
It
think
has
the
to
new
start
Matrix.
with RE though. It has to have an RE, like Reloaded Revolution. It's got to be RE. 'Cause I feel like they're gonna keep that theme.
Voyage has a good one. Recoded.
Oh, that's good. That's pretty fucking good.
So there's a production still, and I'm gonna throw it up on my screen. Dan's seen it. It's also the thumbnail for this. It's not a production screen. Sorry, it's
It's like fucking like he's on his MacBook or something, like talking to somebody.
he was doing a charity thing.
Oh, the eBay charity things where they were selling off their time. Yeah, I saw
Yeah, he
people
was doing it
post
for
something.
with something with the Bill and Ted 3 movie.
Yeah.
Maverick Buckley, The Matrix Regendered. Actually, you might
Oh,
not be
dude,
right.
that would be fucking hilarious.
That's a good one. That's a good one, fella.
Because like we all know about the Wozanowskis, whatever they're called.
The Wachowskis.
Whatever, fucking dude.
Well, I
Some
mean, it's
Polish
definitely gonna deal with that in a more overt way than the original one does, because there's like, you could
Oh, you
suggest that
know
there's
there's
coded,
gonna be a woman.
But
There's gonna
there's-
be a woman in this shit for sure.
but there's coded stuff in the original Matrix about like kind of, I guess kind of about that a little bit, which I think that now, just because of the current climate, they're just being more like open about it or whatever. I don't think it's that overt though. I don't think it's a big part of it. I think they're just trying to make a philosophical science fiction movie.
Voyage says, "Oh geez, gender flips are cringe, dude. They're so cringe, man. What they're doing to James Bond. I mean, I'm not
Well,
mad.
we haven't seen it yet. Come on.
Yeah. But listen, if they
It's
can do
part
it in
of
a
the plot,
tasteful way,
everybody. It's
if
part
they
of the
can do it in a
plot.
tasteful way, it's still bullshit.
No, it's part of the plot because James Bond has retired in the newest James Bond, and somebody else took his place, and it's that woman.
I've been watching too much quartering. Okay, next.
So this is the picture. This is a new picture. So obviously they've wrapped filming. They must have saved him having to do this for the end of the movie. So I've had this thought about like kind of the broad theme of what I think Matrix 4 is going to be broadly about, and I think it's going to be broadly about recontextualizing the original trilogy because of what happened with right-wing people using the notion of red pilling.
Yes.
It comes
dude.
from the Matrix, right? That's where that term comes from. To wake up, see the real world, etc., right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
what they're going to do is they're going to, and this is where this picture comes into play. They never got out of the Matrix in the original trilogy. The real world was a lie. It was another layer of the Matrix. And so the whole red pilling thing was actually another mode
go
of
sleep.
is another mode of Matrix control.
What is this, Inception?
So what it did, kind of in a certain way, right? Like the Matrix tricks you into think that you have freed yourself, which is an interesting concept, to be honest with you. I'm not totally like discounting the concept, but I think the motivation for coming up with this concept is because of the political things that happened with the term red
which
pilling.
they hate. They hate it.
Yeah,
they
of
hate,
course. They're not.
both-
They're obviously
Isn't it just
politically
one
not
of
like
the
that.
sisters? Aren't they both transgender?
Yes, and
What are the fucking odds? What are the,
what are the
odds
odds?
that, like, seriously, that's fucking wild.
Voyage says, I mean, if they can keep it not political, I'm fine with it. I don't think it will be overtly political. I don't, because
Sean,
it's a big,
Sean,
it's a big.
I don't buy it.
Dude, these movies are very expensive.
Sean, they
No,
don't care.
Dan, it's
man.
called because the Wachowskis. Listen, the Wachowskis.
Have you seen the Avengers? Come on.
The
bro.
Wachowskis, for all of their flaws, are a little bit more nuanced. They're a little less overt. So it'll be, the subtext is going to be about how red pilling is actually just an evil control mechanism of the Matrix. And you have to actually be woken up. That's why they're still alive, Dan. That's why Keanu is in the fourth one. Because he didn't actually die. That was part of the scheme. That was part of the control thing. What happens at the end of Revolutions when he goes to the
Which is
Machine
why
City.
Which is why it's cyclical by nature, because
Which
it's
is-
always a part of the Matrix.
And there are things in the Matrix Reloaded, there's things in Matrix Revolutions where you could, whether it was always intended or not, you could retcon to say, like, look, he's using like superpowers in the real world. He's blowing up the machines with his fucking hand as they're going into the Machine City. All the little tentacle machine things are coming at him. He puts up his hand. He starts blowing them up with his mind. He does it at the end of
Yeah.
Reloaded. Like, that's what the cliffhanger is, right? What I'm
Yeah.
saying is that's going to be used to say, like, oh, he was still in the Matrix. They were still in the Matrix.
I don't know.
I'm
Just
telling you.
leave it. Let it be. Let it be. I don't even know if I want to see another fucking Matrix.
Hey, if it's better than Revolutions, I'll be okay with it. They got really weirdly TV moving.
I just
They
don't
really
buy
did.
it, dude. I don't buy it in the current political spectrum.
What do you mean?
It just they're gonna ruin it. They
I-
will.
They may.
Every movie.
Oh, the Wachowskis have been really spotty the last couple movies. It's possible.
What was the last one they did? Jupiter Ascending, right? Or
Jupiter
something?
Ascending, and Jupiter Ascending is awful. It's an awful movie. It's just not a good
Yeah.
movie.
It was like like even John Carter was better than Jupiter Ascending.
So Voyage says, I actually see that, to be honest. Imagine the next thing is like a blue theme thing that lets them escape. That's totally possible. And honestly, you might see that.
Then you'll see fucking Joe Biden fucking being strung up by fucking them. He's like Donald Trump or something. Maybe is strung up by the machines. He's controlling everything.
Actually, it would be awesome.
It would be kind of like
if it's just like Donald Trump's head on a giant mechanical spider.
Yeah.
Maverick says, Maverick says, I hate to break it to the Wachowski sisters, but them redoing what red pilling means to own the normies is not going to change dick. Sadly for them, but good point, Sean. No, it's not going to change anything, but it's just like their political persuasion will lead them down that road. Because I watched or read an interview with Lana Wachowski, and the reporter obviously asked her about the red pill shit, and she was like, I am disturbed, I am disgusted, disavow.
It's just like but it's such a good, but it ruins the original movie, honestly.
It's
in a way.
Oh no, listen. There is a way to make that work, and I think it's actually the
They're gonna Spielberg their own fucking films. Not Spielberg, Lucas. They're just gonna Lucas
No,
the
but-
fuck out of it.
No, I don't think so. I think there is actually innate in the concept of the Matrix that is actually an interesting concept to say that, like, just like in real life, we think we're breaking free of a paradigm only to be found in another one, and it's an interesting concept that if the Matrix or the AI or the machines are so savvy that they're like, we know that you need to feel like you have broken free to feel something. We need to give you purpose. We need to give you a drive, right? And if we can convince you that that's what's happened and still keep you plugged in.
Sick of looking at Keanu. Turn this motherfucker off.
And
This motherfucker.
if you can do that and still stay a battery.
Maybe.
That is
I mean,
what
it
the
makes
Matrix. No,
sense.
but that's
At
what the
least it makes
Matrix.
sense.
It's logical. It follows logically
Yeah.
from what they
Yeah,
have
it does.
established, and I don't think it's even that bad of an idea. When I saw the original trilogy, before Revolutions came out, we all saw.
We saw Reloaded in the theaters too.
I know you guys did. I saw it because I saw it with my high school friends, and I saw it again by myself because I didn't want to see some stupid movie that our cousin was going to see. So I was like, I'm gonna go see Reloaded again. Anyways, I'm just saying that I thought back in the day, that was going to be the twist of the third Matrix, was that they were in another Matrix, because Neo is clearly, even in the real world, he has superpowers. Like when he sees the Agent Smith guy, that Agent Smith possesses this dude.
Yeah.
And they're fighting in the bottom of the ship, and that's how he goes blind and shit, because he torches his eyes, but then he sees like the glowing visage of Agent Smith. I was like, oh, they're gonna tell me in the next movie that this is also part of the Matrix. They didn't. Maybe that was on purpose. Maybe that was just them being clever. They were just like, well, we don't need to go into that. We can just kind of lay the seeds there. We can end here. Maybe they always thought maybe they'd come back, and because Revolutions and Reloaded kind of were a little bit critically derided, the studio just wasn't interested in doing another one.
Do you think that they're gonna be able to break free from the Matrix? This is what this whole thing is like. Is this gonna start over? Is that what this is alluding to?
Well, as
that
long
it's
as
just literally gonna start over.
What? Them breaking free this time?
Yeah, like you never really can break free.
Maybe that's what this will be called, the Matrix 4. This time for real.
Yeah. This time it's really.
This time it's for all the peanuts.
They just throw it all out like the Matrix, the blue pill.
When I saw that picture of Keanu, though, I was like, oh, he has to wake up again. He has to wake up. He has to be birthed again, like he was in the original movie.
Maybe if they do that halfway through the movie, but somehow he breaks out of it, that might be it might be more interesting. Maybe not at the end. Like maybe if they do it or maybe it's the beginning of the movie.
Well, maybe we just find out this just ends up becoming the beginning. It butts together with a prequel to the John Wick series. He just keeps waking up until he becomes John Wick.
John Wick, and then he can be who he really needs to be.
And he knows kung fu. He knows how to use guns really well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That could be it, dude. That could be really what happens.
It's a shame what happened to that series though, because the first Matrix was so fucking rad. when I
So
saw that
good.
shit, dude. I saw that shit in the theaters. Actually, our dad took us, or did he? I don't know if you went. I know me and our sister went. We went to see. You might have been a little too young at that time, but we.
I
Went
didn't
to
see that one.
Yeah, we went to see The Matrix, and I was like, "This is fucking rad." It was like the coolest, leap forward in action filmmaking.
Oh yeah.
So cool. And then the other ones came out, and I was like in denial. It was like with the Star Wars prequels. I was like in denial about Reloaded. I was like, no, Reloaded's good, man. I like Reloaded. I like
maybe the
Reloaded.
whole-
I
maybe
know
the
you
whole
don't like
Matrix-
it.
Maybe the whole Matrix movies is just to tell us that we really are in a simulation. I gotta piss. Be right back.
There he goes. Goodbye, sweet sir. But yeah, that is kind of my general opinion of what I thought. What I thought about. What I think The Matrix 4 could possibly be about. It seems like that's pretty obvious. Like that would be the obvious route to go. Let me see here. Maverick, follow the white rabbit. Knock, knock. Knock, knock, Neo. Great scene. It was groundbreaking, dude. Still a top 10 film for me. Yeah, it really was. I mean, like the bullet time, the special effects, the way they did the choreography, the action choreography. Like that was such a novel and new thing for the U.S. They've been doing like kind of that wire work stuff in Hong Kong action movies for a while, and that's why the Wachowskis, they hired those stunt teams to kind of come to America and develop this way of doing it. And it's still to this day, it's awesome. I actually went and I rebought for like the third time in my life. I bought all the Matrix movies on 4K like last year. And I've owned them on DVD, I owned them on Blu-ray, and now I own them on 4K.
That's terrible.
No, it's not, Dan. It's awesome.
I mean,
It's
it
awesome.
is. Don't worry, dude.
When you can look at
No.
your shelf and you can just be like, yo, dude, I own 4 of the same movie in different formats, you know?
I mean, it's you never know. Some of those might be worth more because maybe they left special features off and
No.
they're on like an older version or something. I
wish.
don't know.
I think actually I do have special features that only were released in the box set for the Matrix movies. The one that has all these like the philosophy of the Matrix, and there's actually if you have the discs for the Matrix, there's some interesting commentaries because they have one that's all movie critics that didn't like the movie.
Oh, look at that.
There's 3
Can
movies.
we? Maverick wants to have a real conversation. Is Blu-ray really worth it? He wants to know. Is it
do you mean
Blu-ray
4K?
4K?
Do you mean 4K? Is 4K really worth it? I mean,
Blu-ray,
Blu-rays.
man, that's so old, man.
Well, no, because everybody's like, 4K is actually kind of a struggling format. It's not really taking off.
You're really not gonna do much better than that. I mean, like, dude, what next is gonna be all 8K releases and
8K
you're like,
is the last that will ever come out because it is the human eye can't perceive any.
you
I don't even
can't
think you can
perceive
even do
anything
8K.
past 4K.
No, you can
You can't-
perceive up to I think it's like 7-ish K.
So you're saying you'll stop at 8K?
I'm a big Blu-ray collector. I'll say
Yeah,
this.
yeah. But I'm just,
I have adopted the format. Like I got Blu-rays coming out my ass, dude. I buy
well, that's
random
only
shit. Like,
1080p
look at
though.
this.
That's only
True
1080p.
believer. True believer. I bought this on Blu-ray
Right?
for no reason. Okay.
Isn't that only 1080p though?
Yeah, Blu-rays are. Yeah. 4Ks. If you're really into just fidelity and you just like the, I'll say this: with every format jump, there is something. The cool thing for me is that sometimes when I watch some of these older movies that they've done like really great proper restorations for in 4K, it feels like seeing it again for the first time. Like the restoration they did on 2001: A Space Odyssey. One of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen.
There's a good documentary about the guy that is like responsible for that.
Yeah,
shit.
Leon Vitali, film worker. That's the name of the documentary. It's called Film Worker.
Basically, it should just be called Slave. That's what it should be called.
Watching Blade Runner from the original Blade Runner on 4K was fucking amazing. Like you see actually how good those guys were, how meticulously crafted those like miniatures were and the sets were, and it's fucking incredible. So as for me, as like a big movie nerd,
What about the
It's
Thing?
awesome.
Did you ever get the Thing?
They don't. This
On
has
4K?
not been released on 4K.
Yeah, they
Oh,
can't.
trust
They
me,
would
dude.
live
I
to-
would. No, the Carpenter 4Ks are starting to come out. So, so these guys are CIA operatives. They're not into 4Ks or DVDs. No, I'm just joking. Voyage says, I don't know, man. I never bought Blu-ray. It was always IMAX in theaters for the few good movies I can actually remember. Hey, and that's fair. You know, not everybody's has like that collector's mentality. Like I have. I just like.
Yeah.
I like. It's a hobby for me. You know. And I like just having that tactile, I can go on my shelf and pull something out. Case in point, I'm watching horror movies all October. Okay? I own the movie, but I was like, you know, a lot of times I'll just put it up on a streaming service if it's on there, just out of convenience. I wanted to watch the movie Near Dark.
Man, you could really save your internet if you fucking.
I was watching the movie Near Dark. I wanted to watch Near Dark. Guess what? Digitally, I couldn't rent it. I couldn't buy it, and I couldn't stream it anywhere on any streaming service, okay? But you know what I had? I had that Blu-ray. And also, in the dark dystopian future we're all headed towards, I'm going to have the original versions of these movies. I'm not going to have these weird, edited versions.
That's actually true. No, that's the only thing. That's the only thing you're right about what you're doing.
It's called posterity, baby. You got book burners out there. They're going to be movie
I know.
burners.
Maverick asked, "What's the best '80s horror movie?"
Oh,
for
come on.
everyone.
John Carpenter's The Thing, The Lost
That's a great
Boys.
one.
Actually, a new favorite. This is a new favorite. Night of the Demons. Super
I don't know that one.
Super fun movie. Super fun movie.
A good '80s. I mean, like you gotta like Freddy.
Videodrome.
Nightmare on Elm Street, the classic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a classic. I don't know if I hate it or
I'm
love
not a favorite of those. Halloween is actually the 70s, Maverick. How dare you? You know, I actually saw that. My wife and I we got married on Halloween, and our anniversary is on Halloween. They played Halloween at a local theater, and we went to see it, and it was awesome. It was a fucking great time. It was the best experience I've ever had with that movie, because I always respected Halloween more than I liked it.
Look at Maverick. Ah! Like, oh my god. I'm trying to think of my favorite '80s, man. I mean, The Thing really is a great movie. I don't know if there is a better one that I can think. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's a great film. I don't know if it's like horror generic that you could call.
Let's see. I'll bring up a little list here.
Yeah,
Give you some
'cause I can't
ideas,
think
right?
I got
The Lost Boys?
Like Nightmare on Elm Street. Lost Boys is great. But
I
that's
love
not
The
really
Lost.
horror.
Yeah, it's a
not-
horror movie. It's a horror movie.
I don't consider it to be.
It's like it's got comedic elements, but it's a horror movie.
It's more. It's a dark comedy. You could call it a dark comedy. Dark comedy horror ish.
I think it leans more on like dramatic horror movie. It's like a coming of age story. The Shining. One of my
that's
all-time.
great.
That's 1980. One of my all-time favorites.
Oh, I
If
thought we
anybody-
were talking about the made for TV. That's my favorite.
That's my favorite. The one from the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's no, The Shining. That was in the 80s.
No,
really?
if anybody's interested, on Zoobox Goes to the Movies over the past few months, my friend and I have been talking about all of Kubrick's movies, and we did an episode about The Shining a few months back. What else they got? Fright Night. I love Fright Night.
Fright Night. That's a fun one.
That's
man.
a fucking really fun one. That was actually I think that was the last movie I reviewed for October. They Live came out in the 80s. Christine
That's
came out in
fun.
the 80s. The Nightmare on Elm Street. Cujo. Poltergeist.
Cujo, Poltergeist.
The
Poltergeist
Dead
was
Zone.
fun.
From Beyond.
Basically every Stephen King horror movie. Uh,
The Fly. The Fly is amazing.
Oh, that's a great one.
David Cronenberg's The Fly.
There's too many good ones though, honestly.
Candyman is the 90s Maverick. Maverick, what are you doing? What are you doing, guy?
Candyman.
Candyman's actually the first Candyman's great. I have that somewhere.
I'm gonna have to throw out the last one you just said there. I think that's a great one.
The Fly.
The Fly. That's a fantastic film. Is it horror though? I know
Yes,
it just doesn't
it's
feel horror.
sci-fi.
I mean,
it's
not,
sci-fi horror.
It's not classic horror, you know.
What do you?
That's what
What
I'm
do you
thinking.
like? What's your quibble with
Like
like?
Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, kind of like the teenage
horror, that was really popular in the 80s. There's a bunch of teenagers. You know what I mean? Like Nightmare on Elm Street. Those are the classics.
Well, they're
Those are the
they're
ones from the 80s.
culturally they're classics, right?
Phantasm, like these are.
Well, Phantasm is the 70s, my friend.
Okay, you know what I mean though. Like there's just something classic. So was Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mavericks
Yeah.
says, okay, 70s to early 90s.
Okay.
Voyage says, I've never really gotten into scary movies. Poltergeist, Exorcist, and The Ring are probably my top 3 that gave me little nightmares. The Ring, I remember seeing when I was a kid, I was very disturbed by.
Yeah, dude, the opening scene's fucking fucked. Oh, dude, The Exorcist. That
Dude,
movie.
but The Exorcist is like a good movie. It's a good
Yeah,
it's a horror movie, but it's a good movie.
But its subtleties are so good.
And also
It's such a great.
growing up Catholic makes that movie
Yeah.
have an extra effect.
Yeah.
Gore Verbinski's The Ring is fucking very effective. It's like,
No, we're talking about the one from the 2002 or whatever.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the Japanese Ringu is also good, but in a weird way, I think the Verbinski one might be a little bit better. It's actually a little more accessible. I mean, I really like it. Gore Verbinski is actually, as a horror director, can do some stuff because he became a studio guy after a while. Like he started working with Disney, and he did like the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He did that the Lone Ranger movie for Disney as well.
Oh, that fucking tanked.
And then he came back a couple years ago and he did this called A Cure for Wellness. If you have not seen A Cure for Wellness, not like the greatest movie I've ever seen.
I never watched it. It always looked interesting.
Yeah, it's a little too slow, but it's
But
it's
wait, can we bring up
gorgeous.
one movie
It's
before we
gorgeous.
continue? We have to.
What? Go ahead. Yeah.
The Descent.
Oh, I love The Descent.
The
Neil
Descent
Marshall.
is a fun, or even go even more cheesy. Dog Soldiers.
Another Neil Marshall movie, same director.
Kind of fun. Like that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Horror for me has always been, I mean, if I want to be real, the last horror movie that I don't watch them very often by myself because I live alone, so I'm not trying to have that shit. Like I'm already paranoid enough.
What a simp! Not a Chad move at all.
Oh, Maverick says Pet Cemetery. Oh, that's a pretty
Pet
good one.
Cemetery, yeah. Well,
Dude, where can I watch The Ring? Is it on streaming anywhere? Let us know, guy in the chat. Let us know if you can find it on streaming.
Here, I'll look it up for you.
No, Sean. We have the Minions. We let them work.
Oh, don't say that about our audience.
They're our friends,
Jesus.
but they're also our minions. They're fun. The Ring gives me chills when I remember it. I had a week there where I thought she was gonna come out and OPT on me with my grandmother had her in her backyard. Dude, that's no shit, dude.
Yeah, you can watch
Movies 1, 2, 3.
on Crackle, the Sony's movie source. So you can watch it with ads, or you know what you could do? Ride those high digital seas.
Oh yeah, that's probably.
Actually, I think I have it on DVD. I think I still have my DVD.
I'm
of The
broke
Ring.
as fuck right now. I need to.
Hey.
I'm buying a house, guys. So.
Me too.
So I'm not broke. I'm like, I don't know where my money's gonna go.
You just say,
You know what I mean?
my assets are tied up. You got to be like fucking big dogging it.
Nah, dude, I'm fucking broke.
Like, I ain't liquid right now. I'm not liquid right now. I'm
I
tied
gotta
up in
fucking
things.
drive home to fucking go see these motherfuckers for Thanksgiving, and I'm like, oh. Ah!
Well,
Oh,
you
man.
got yourself in a mess there. Like, I don't know what to say. You did that to yourself. But
I know it was going to fucking Hilton Head, but it was. No, I'm good, dude.
Maverick asked first house or no?
Oh yeah, first house, man. First house, Maverick. It's a big purchase. It's I'm confident. I like it. I like the house. It looks good. We had some issues and stuff, but they fixed everything, and I'm hoping we're getting the appraisal on Thursday, so I'm hoping that it goes good, so I can purchase the house, and it's within my budget. What I want to spend a month, and I'm good. So. I thank you, man. Thank you, Voyager. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's really crazy. It's my first one, dude. It's nuts. I was in the military, so I didn't really buy a house because I was always.
Void says that the Ring is on BTV, which is
BTV?
that app or site that he had mentioned before, which I'm gonna check
Okay,
out.
dude. All right, yeah, dude. I'll definitely. And you just go to the browser. Is that how you did it?
Gotta get yourself one of them Chrome.
Can you get that
things.
on PlayStation? Is that like a thing you get on
No.
PlayStation? Or,
No.
no, so it's like just on browser.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, I got a fucking HDMI cable, babe. Especially if it's only a 5-second commercial. I mean, that's a good deal. If you get that 5 sec, that's like a fucking Netflix. You know,
These people-
Netflix isn't even that good
These
anymore.
people aren't selfish. Okay. These
The
people
only
are-
time, like Netflix, I was watching Joe Rogan earlier. I'm like, oh my God, there's fucking ads every 10, 15 minutes. It was kind of getting annoying.
Yeah, I used to be really anti ad blocker because I was always like, no, I want to support.
Oh shit, Maverick. Sorry, I missed that, dude. Nice, dude. Proud of you, Danny boy. Thanks, man. Like, it's a big decision to make, but where the economy is right now, and people are worried, the interest rates are real low, and they're trying to raise the rent in the place that I'm living now, and I'm like, you know what, dude? Fuck it. Like, I'm not really gonna be able to get a better, and it's a beautiful. Sean's seen it. It's a beautiful house. It looks good. I'm excited.
Go ahead, give them your address, buddy.
Yeah.
Just throw that address out there. We'll have a house party.
No, dude, like, we'll have you Sean down at some point. Maybe we can get that, whenever whenever like the kid gets old enough, maybe.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. So he says you downloaded pretty much. Okay, dude, I'll check it out. Thanks, Voyage. I really appreciate that, man.
Yeah, now I kind of want to watch The Ring too.
Dude, I want to watch. Dude, we should try to figure out this Twitch thing over the next couple weeks, and maybe we can watch it. If you guys be down to watch,
it's only
The Ring.
if it's on Amazon Prime. You have to you can only watch movies that are on Amazon Prime.
Netflix has a watch together thing too, though.
Yeah, but we can't stream it. We could stream
Well-
us watching it.
So are you saying what happens if we? Okay, guys, hear me out.
If
What
you-
happens if we all watched a movie together? Like we don't even need to stream it as long as we're all watching it together. And if you guys follow us on Instagram at Zoobox Podcast, or we can figure out a movie that we want to watch on here, and then we could just all watch it together.
Yeah,
It could be possible.
Yeah, we could do that. But the thing that's kind of cool with the Twitch one is that like you have access to the whole Amazon Prime library.
Really? And it's legal, and you can do
No,
that.
they made it so that so the movie will be playing, and you'll be up in the corner above the chat, and so you can all watch it together that way.
All right, let's see. Oh, for sure. I hated renting. Felt like I was just burning cash. I got my first house 2 years ago. It was wrecked, but I rented. No, dude, my house it's got some stuff that needs to be done to it for sure. The inside is beautiful. It's impeccable. But it's going to need a roof in a couple years, maybe a new HVAC in 2 to 3 years. Cross my fingers. But I'm going to be able to save money and do all that and work and do everything, so it should be fine. Yeah, dude, we'll figure out a movie, maybe The Ring. Maybe that's what we'll do, or Sean and I can maybe do a live movie review, and that would be fun if you guys all watch The Ring, and then we could all come back and just do a live movie review, talk about it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're gonna do. I think because we're gonna live stream more often. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good jams. Good movie
Yeah,
talk.
good jam. Good movie talk. So what's next on the docket, Sean?
So do we want to get into this sex robot stuff?
Yeah, let's get into some sex robot stuff.
I just want to
Classic film choice, The Dirt Bike Kid. I'll check it out, Maverick.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the future. This is you. Actually, Dan, you're single.
Yeah.
Now, would you?
Are these
Think-
guys Asian?
Yeah,
Are
they're
these
from.
guys
This
Asian?
is from Japan.
Yeah, I figured. No.
Engineers at Japan's Gifu University designed this device to combat loneliness. Because that's the problem in Japan. It's made from soft elastic gel to fit snugly in your hand. Internal pressure sensors in the palm squeeze back. It even tugs in your arm if you walk too quickly. Just like a real girlfriend. Dan, this is the answer to all your problems, buddy.
This is wild, man. I just you gonna pause it?
It doesn't matter. There's no audio.
Oh, okay. Well, for me there is for sure.
Well, then turn it down.
I will.
I'm not playing the audio. I'm just playing the video.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's one of those things where, because in Japan they've basically destroyed sexuality.
and I know this is very similar in Japan and I think South Korea, probably North Korea. Let's get real, but they have like very aggressive. So they've learned. So what they did through anime was to try to teach people how to date. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, because that's what all those dating simulators and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, no, like anime specifically, the actions are emulated in their society. So like if it's not weird to see a guy at a bar walk up to a girl and smack on the wall next to her. Like, you like you like scream in her face. Yeah, it's
What
like
the
a
fuck
real
are you
thing.
talking about, guy?
Yeah, like they walk in there and they just start smacking the wall and like screaming in her face, like trying to talk to her. And like if the girl will, like, I swear to God, like it's
Do you mean
crazy shit.
no? Do you mean like they got the wrong lessons from anime?
No, because
That's not-
they were listen to me.
Okay.
The men in their community were
Citation
so
needed.
anti or like not good at communicating with women. They used the propaganda from anime as propaganda to teach men how to date and how to be attractive to females and all this. It was such a big part. It's just a whole documentary about it. I'll have to find it. And my friends, they saw it themselves when they were in Japan.
Well, but here's the reason that happened is because they're very insular, and they became kind of young men just had a hard time going out there because of things like a video game addiction and anime addictions and like it actually has become quite a problem.
The guy came in afford shoes. He's got flip flops and socks. This guy's got problems.
Maverick says, "What if those sensors malfunction? That thing would squeeze that sausage out of the bun, because that's gonna happen." Like,
oh my
yeah,
God.
like this guy's holding his hand. He's like, "Oh, look, no, it's cool. I'm just. This is for strolling. This is for companionship." Yeah,
It's
you know what
such
else
a
comes
weird-
with companionship?
That's a weird thing.
You know what else comes with companionship? Handies. Handies come with companionship.
Yeah.
Get you a girl who
just-
can do both. Take walks.
I mean, okay, so
Handies.
getting into the sex robot talk, which we've seen a documentary where it's these very, like archaic fucking looking fucking dolls. This is horrible. This is horrible looking. And if you guys want to watch a really good documentary about a sexual kink, watch Tickled. Tickled is really fun.
It has nothing to do with sex robots, but it is.
It
fun,
doesn't,
yeah.
but it's fun if we're just talking about sexual kinks. But what would be like? Because this is like a part of the global Great Reset and all this shit.
Oh,
Like,
about
it's just part of
population control. Yeah, I know.
Like, I think who said it? Was it Maverick or Voyage was basically saying that this shit is going to be, the
was
future is
Voyage,
going to be like
yeah.
reproduction. It's going to be like the Brave New World. What they do is they dope you up full of dopamine and like these feely good things, and you take these pills to make you happy, and they'll probably put shit in our water to make us dopey, which they basically are through fucking, putting the metal in the water and all that shit to fucking dumb us down. Because this is just the beginning, though. Is it going to be weird to see sex or robots walking around with humans and like dating them?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think
Would
it's
you? I mean, are you mean like you think they're doing like predictive programming with like her and stuff, where like guys fall in love with UIs?
Well, think about this though. Why is all our user interfaces female?
Trying to get that
Why
job.
why are they all female? Is it because women are more soothing and they're more calm and
It's
they have
'cause
like a more
it's
softer tone?
like on a very like base level, the maternal thing, and everybody just responds better to it. Like as long as she's not, hold on,
A liar.
shrill.
A liar. Let's see. So I suck at talking to women, but I'm not bad at writing a cringeworthy love letter. Hey, dude, man, we all got our talents, man. Maverick says, and you'd have to have hand battles where you reprogram them and throw them in a mini arena with a couple of knives. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it's gonna be like with like the Addams Family, them just crawling at each other like thing.
Yes. Voyage says rich person thing is already heading that way. I agree for breeding, reproduction. I mean, they've basically been trying to do that
for a long time. Even like the Illuminati and like in some of that, it's all about pure blood and all that weird shit. It's Buckley
Blurry?
says, "Is it blurry for you?" A bit, yeah, Maverick. Okay, so we might have a little bit of a blur.
I don't know.
Just seems a
We
little
shouldn't.
blurry.
We shouldn't.
We're fine, guys. Listen, a little bit of blur just adds to the flavor. If you don't want to see blur, we can. Listen, we
I
don't
got-
have.
I got connection.
fiber internet.
It says excellent connection still, so
It might be me. Who knows? It could be me.
are you
Um,
artifacting? Are you
I am
artifacting, buddy?
artifact. I am.
You artifacting, buddy?
I just don't know. Well, that is the scary thing about the future and what we're seeing with, what we just witnessed this past year with, is the greatest transfer of wealth in human history, where we saw trillions of dollars be taken from our pockets because the government paid us with our money, and we're gonna have to pay that back through taxes, where the Federal Reserve basically owns 10% of all companies in the United States, which is very fucking communist and weird. And then we all got that $1,200, billions of dollars. What was it, like $200 billion
Yeah.
or something, $300 billion? And all that money got transferred to the largest corporations because they were the only ones that had the ability to operate, like Walmart, Target, Amazon,
Yeah,
you name
they're
it.
loving this shit. They love it.
Oh, dude. I think it was Amazon was gained like $11 billion in revenue. That might even be low.
Yeah, Bezos is
It's-
creaming.
Creaming for this shit, man. So what is the next step of that control? And that is where you take control of your love life, which you could even argue Tinder and desensitizing people to, actual formal physical communication where you're in front of somebody and the risk is out the window. If you get denied on Tinder, with Sean, you kind of missed that boat, but if you get denied on Tinder, it's not as public. It's not as big as of a public shaming as
Well,
as
it
if you
also
ask them in
it
person.
becomes it gamifies dating in a way that is more
It's
analog, like it's like a video game. It's like social because it's connected to the same things that feed dopamine to us from social media. Even the way when you look at profiles and like what those are, I dabbled in that like a year or so before I met my wife. I think I had like an account somewhere. It was before Tinder though. Tinder didn't exist. I'm 34, by the way. That's why. I just missed it. I just missed that window. What could have been?
What could have been?
I could have been knee deep in pussy all the time.
I mean, it's
Probably
like
not
Tinder.
really.
Well,
I-
like before that, there was Plenty of Fish, which I had used, and then after that, it was Tinder became big, and there's like Bumble now, and there's like Caviar, some weird like rich one for rich people.
Let's see here. Let's catch up with the boys.
Women being allowed to have preferences, but men not being allowed to. Well, that's just evolution, man. Like honestly, dude. You're fucking Maverick. Never say never, Sean. Hey, shh. I got a room, Sean. I got a room. Women be allowed to have preferences, but men not being allowed to. Well, I think that's more of an evolutionary example as saying that women have always had the more selection.
Mhm.
Men have never had the peak selection that they would want. Men generally have to set. Well, then again, because like women go after different things.
Yeah, but this
Men.
is. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, men go after reproductive qualities like symmetry, bust, and
Hips,
hips,
breasts,
like,
butts.
yeah, like they go after all that stuff, and women go more after, security, and that can be in our brains as far as like women would go. It's probably more aligned with wealth, security, protection. Like you could be a scrawny fuck, but if you have millions of dollars, like they're not going to care.
Yeah, the identifiers are different because it's about comfort, success, safety for women. It's just a different thing. This guy, Void says, "I'm just saying, if I don't want to date a 490-pound fat lady, I shouldn't be liable to lose my livelihood." I don't know. Would that happen? Is that a thing?
Yeah, she'll eat it all.
She'll eat your
Right.
livelihood. No, but like
mean,
nobody's
but
gonna
it is
fire you
weird
for having
how
a preference of like you don't think big is beautiful. Apparently, Voyage.
we talk about how women are underrepresented in society, but then we look at like how the family courts basically lean towards women at like a 75%, 80%
Yeah,
rate.
there are certain structures that definitely benefit women, just like
But
there's certain
it
structures
does.
that benefit men. I mean, it's just
Yeah, like being a man, like that's the structure that
like I don't gotta sit down to pee, brother.
Yeah,
Okay, that's freedom, baby. That's freedom.
What benefits do men truly have? Physical strength, generally. From natural basis. Women can maybe work out to be stronger than a man, but they're not born naturally stronger. Women are in general more intelligent on average than men. They have a general intelligence level that is higher.
They get there faster. It's not intelligence, it's intuition. Voyage says public shaming is like something that could happen negatively to you. Voyage also says men are seen as disposable in a lot of aspects. I feel this is something Dan and I have actually talked about a lot, like as we talk about like kind of incels and what's going on in those kind of communities. And this is a transitionary period that is very difficult, I think, for young men, like in history, in society, like because men, the idea of what it means to be a man because of technology has completely changed. The paradigm is just different. So you're not a hunter-gatherer. You don't need to be these other things. And then society, at the same time as this is happening, society says, fuck you. You've always been in control, which is completely ridiculous because it's like, not every man is like some powerful rich guy. Like, so.
Talking, well, then we all know it's fucking junk science. It's these.
Stuff is, 100%.
But
it's something I have a great deal of
empathy
empathy for that. I have a great deal of empathy for that. Like, I just don't.
But this is the problem, though. This is where I think the disillusionment comes from. Men this is where young men, especially like in college age and stuff, where you're not in high school, where you're kind of outside the dominance hierarchy. Once you go into college, things open up because women can now date outside because of things like Tinder and Bumble, outside of their local
their tribes
mating, like their local mating grounds.
Yeah, people are
back in the day.
People are getting out. Insular. Yeah, everybody dated people from their neighborhoods back in the day.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is even more like a woman, a 20-year-old woman can date a 28-year-old man with an established career.
Yeah,
with
that's always
money, with a car. And then you go look at the college kid, and he's got like eating ramen noodles out of a fucking a fucking like a fucking McDonald's plastic cup, like just trying to get by. It's one of those. But then again, like I don't know. All I'm saying is that there is enough to say. I don't think it's changed as much as people want to admit, in my opinion.
What hasn't changed?
Well, because as a guy that did frequent, establishments, it was really not hard to pull a woman when you're just being very upfront with them. And like and they're not used to it because of things like Tinder.
Sure, but
you become an anomaly.
Yeah, but
you become even more rare.
Yeah, but I think we're not talking about like everybody. We're talking about like a specific segment of society that is being left behind because of.
Well, there's
stuff.
always been a segment of society that's been left behind.
I don't think it's been in the same way because I think there is like actually like cultural forces that are trying to explicitly demonize certain people. Like it is this weird mean girl, not specifically women doing it. It's just everybody. Like it's just there's a social movement to say like these people are unsavable. Fuck them. They're disgusting reprobates, and let's never have anything to do with them again. And let's find a way to basically just to ruin all their lives.
Yeah, look at Johnny Depp.
And it's weird. It's weird. I like, like when we talk about people like 4chan or just these dumb kids that are coming into their own and they're trying to figure things out and they're out there being edgelords and all this shit. And they want to use those things as a pretext to ruin the rest of their lives. Or guys that just don't understand that maybe like, some people just don't understand how to socialize in the right way with girls, or they never had those opportunities when they're young or whatever. It happens. It does happen. It happens to a lot of people. But, and I think the internet has exacerbated that. Now that community is larger than it's ever been before, in my opinion.
I don't think it's larger than it's ever. I think they just have a louder voice. I think they have a louder voice than they've ever had before.
No, well,
what?
I'm just saying because insular people that are introverts, now have different avenues. They're not pushed out in society like they used to be. So some people could break out of that by being forced to go out and like get
but how many
certain types of
people have met
jobs.
online? How many people have been met online and like dated and like they become like
Sure,
a real
but
thing?
yeah, some people, of course, they have. That's the exception doesn't disprove the rule. I'm talking.
Well,
Granted,
I don't.
we're not talking about like everyone. I'm just talking. There is, and I think it is a growing segment of society. I think that is why there is so much attention on it, because there is the potential for it to be dangerous and to go wrong. There is the potential, like they alienate themselves. They get into these kind of cycles of these echo chambers where they all reinforce each other's negative feelings about the world, and then there's no escape. Like, so you could be a depressed, edgy kid like when you were my age, but you were not ever going to be like in an echo chamber. Like you were always going to have
you hung out with though.
you were, but that's what I'm saying. But having to have actual like tangible friends that I went out with or anybody went out with like forces you out of that mindset, or at least
I agree.
learning how to actually socialize. If
I agree.
you don't ever give yourself that opportunity, or you don't have parents that are good enough to help guide you out of that, you don't have some sort of mentor in your life, it can be a bad force. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I agree. I think that's fair. That's fair criticism of what could be currently happening for sure. Let's see. Topic for discussion. Hot female. What is it? Hot female teachers abusing their male student. Should teacher be jailed or student envied? You could go either way with that one, but I think any type of child abuse, we should say that. You know, that type of stuff.
Yeah, the law has to be ubiquitous. It has to be across the board.
It's not even question, but like there's no proof or science to prove that a 14-year-old that gets molested by his teacher, even if it's a hot female, then it might have some impact on him socially or psychologically for a long time, So I don't know.
Well, I think that just the levels of victimization might be different. It's just a different thing. But I don't think it's obviously not healthy, and I don't think anybody, at the end of the day, it's not going to end well.
Okay, Dan. No,
Wink,
man, I'm
wink,
just
wink.
saying, man, like it's is it something that every young man wished for? The hot teacher? Absolutely. I think every young man, when they saw their hot teacher, they're like, fuck, I wish, and there is something inside, but then again, do men and women psychologically develop differently when it comes to sexual stuff, or is the fucking I don't know if I definitely don't feel this way, but wow, how young is too young, right? Like what, 14, 15? Like there's got to be some.
Jesus, guy.
No, but
Calm
what I'm saying
down.
is like what is the line then?
The line is 18.
No, but obviously but there is different states, different perspectives on it. States have different like Florida's 18, but South Carolina's 16,
No, I know.
15 or whatever. So it just goes out like, well, what that's for just interactions. It's just such a complicated, convoluted thing.
I think if you're an older man and you somehow feel like you're in love with a 14-year-old girl, that means you are probably a pervert. Because what the fuck, like mentally, do you have anything in common psychologically with this person? Like you just can't.
Oh, dude,
You just
dude,
can't.
if you guys want to see some shit that'll creep you out, type in Mouthy Buddha, and go on BitChute Mouthy Buddha. I'm just saying, like that's just fucking wild.
Well, yeah,
the Mouthy Buddha is an investigator that, I mean, it's not fake, man. He finds this shit, like he reports it. Like, you can go fuck, and he's a very good editor, yes, but it is like his stuff he finds, like about Cuties, the new film. He just did a new one, man. But the thing is this, like for me, I'll never go below anyone 25, 24, like, like I just me. I'm getting older. I'm 28, 29. Like I just say it doesn't interest me. But I think there is something to be said that why did 18 become the presumptive age of adulthood?
Sure, there's something arbitrary about that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because like who the fuck is? I met so many 18-year-olds that are fucking,
I think they just decided like we have to pick a number, and they just kind of went with it. Honestly.
Yeah. Maverick Buffalo. Who cares? I think if it's a male, 14, 15 is too young. 16 upwards if the teacher's 23.
Void said, I don't know. The only hot teacher I had was a bitch. Probably would have made for a great lay, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, probably would have. But there's just something to
really.
be said about, but like, is this where wouldn't, I guess, the guy that's gonna pick up your teacher
He's
is
a Chad.
not gonna.
He's a Chad.
He's a Chad, but he's definitely not gonna be the dude playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, it's just not.
Oh, he could be.
I doubt it, dude. He's not gonna be the dude playing Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon that smells like fucking 2-day-old fucking egg salad sandwich. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
What if
Like,
she
that's
really
not-
likes? What if she really likes
No,
cheese?
well, Sean, as you
smell
would
like
say,
cheese,
there
brother.
are outliers, but there may be exception to the rules, but there's still the rule, or whatever you said, whatever the fuck you said.
The exception does not disprove the rule.
Yeah, exactly. I think most of those dudes are going to be more alpha, centric dudes that are maybe appear to look older. And then yes, you have pedophiles that are women that are obviously into much younger, but I think statistically those are a lot rarer unless you're Hillary Clinton.
I mean, things
It's-
have changed because of the way children's hormones develop now, because of things that
Yeah,
they
we
actually
eat-
put in food.
Yeah,
So
GMOs, dude.
women tend to mature young. I mean, holy shit! Like you could when I was in high school, like some of the girls I went to high school with looked like they were 25-year-old like women, like physically. Like they look like fucking. I went to school with a couple girls. I was like, holy shit! Is this person held back? Is she a
Yeah,
re?
But the thing is that all those GMOs is turning her into the fucking. Once she hits like 30, she's done. Her
Yeah, that's
body's
why you
shut
gotta get them in when they're young, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? But it's just all this stuff, dude. I'm checking Mouthy Buddha, man. Go to BitChute, type in Mouthy Buddha, watch his videos. You will be fucking a little.
we were debating whether or not to show it on the stream because Mouthy Buddha got booted off of YouTube for these
Dude,
videos.
that's how you know it's real, dude.
That's how you know that shit is real.
No, because I'm telling you, he's not a conspiracy crazy dude. He's really not.
Yeah, we don't want to get our channel deleted though, which is unfortunate. I really don't like that feeling, honestly.
I don't either. I'm pissing again.
We could go to D Live and we could let it rip. Apparently, but nobody's on. Who the fuck is nobody's on D Live? These people aren't on D Live. Okay, so we're gonna get back into some of the sex robot talk now that we've had our classic Zoobox wild tangent, which is what the show is all about. Wild tangents, good times. All right. The age of sex robots, everybody. You ready for this? You see this? You ready for this? This is what we're going to be discussing a little bit of. Wild shit. So, yeah, this is written by David W. Wall, PhD. Bisexual self. Can I ask you about some software for YouTube vids? Yeah, go for it, man. I'm not a master or anything, but yeah, 100%. Just vibing here. See, this is when having that background music comes in well, because I can have a little bit of dead air and it's not that big of a deal. We're just at this coffee shop hanging out. So right now, I think we're gonna get into this article from Psychology Today. There's some there's some good fodder here. I think it would be fun to talk about. Oh,
The age of sex robots, huh?
the age. I put the link in the.
I'm already on it, dude.
Yeah,
John.
just in
I'm
case.
already on it.
Just in case you needed it. Okay.
Already on it.
So let's just get started. Sex robots are here. It's not just a gimmick of science fiction. Granted, the artificially intelligent sex robots of such films as Ex Machina and AI are not here yet, but it's only a matter of time. Most sex robots now are little more than slightly animated sex dolls. Perhaps the most advanced sex robot that we know is Samantha, a creation of Cynthia Amatis. Samantha is designed to be capable of enjoying sex. Wow, we're already at enjoying sex level for these fucking machines. But Samantha is not all about sex. She can also talk about science and philosophy. She can even tell jokes, although hopefully not while you're having sex with her. Consent is even an issue with Samantha. If you are too rough with her or she doesn't like your behaviors, she is programmed to go into dummy mode and completely shut down. Currently, robotic partners can go for prices in excess of $10,000. So this is actually, I thought this part was fascinating. And this actually kind of leads into what Voyage was talking about. Voyage was talking about this idea that this is actually made to sate the average man, right? Because if you can actually make it like a real sexual experience, then why not? Like, you know, it would be a lot more attractive to a wider swath of people. It wouldn't be so taboo.
I've played Detroit Become Human. I know how this goes, dude. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing. But like, then again, is it really gonna be better than a like human pussy? Is it really gonna be that great? Like, I don't know.
What if it is, Dan? What if it's the best pussy you've ever had? What would you do? Like, could you ever go back to human pussy after having Samantha ride your hog?
Ride the hog, man. I think there is something to say about. There is no way they're gonna have an AI that has the capability to be like human-esque, human-like. You know.
Well, that's what
and
they're
like,
talking.
Not to mention,
that's
what
why
about the cost? How do you charge it?
That's what
like. How long does it last? Like, this is a lot of questions.
You plug it in for 7 hours, you get maybe 4.
It's like, what does it come with the house? Is it like an appliance? You know?
Yeah. Just to answer Maverick quickly, I just wondered if you had any ideas on the basics, editing software, and how to capture video to use in a YouTube video. Also, what quality of camera would you recommend? Does it have to be black and white? And I think I got you winked there, buddy. 2 things I would recommend if you're starting out. OBS, that's what I'm using for the live streams, but I've also come to just use it for also for video capturing. I use it for just kind of doing extemporaneous movie reviews that I'll do occasionally. Also, I have a program called Power Director. It's a very easy to use, user-friendly, beginner-friendly editing software that has enough things to use, like if you're just starting out, some cool stuff you can do with it. And there's tons of YouTube videos on how to use the program the most effectively. If you're just starting out, that is what I would recommend. If you're a little bit more seasoned, I would say get like some, I think it's Sony Vegas for editing, and maybe XSplit for streaming. That would be my suggestion. I've been doing stuff like this for a while, but I'm also kind of lazy and like I don't want to learn the software. So I've kind of just stuck to what I've known. This is what I know. And as you can see by the wild production quality of these live streams, that I'm still have a lot to learn.
Yeah, that's all right though.
All right.
You know, but where are we in this? Samantha's not about sex. She's
So we're gonna
talk
go
about science and philosophy.
Yeah, so it's trying to replace a real person, a real like connection, a relationship. The question here is not whether or not sex robots are coming. They are. Hui! Ba-dum-bum. Or how they are going to be continually evolving. The question here concerns the psychological and social ramifications that may accompany this brave new sexual world. As with any technology, there is a laundry list of pros and cons to consider. I recently asked several married couples how they would feel if they walked in on their spouse having sex with a robot. In each case, the reactions were the same. On the one hand, they felt it was a little more than masturbation, the sex robot being nothing more than a very advanced sex toy. On the other hand, they worried about their partner reifying the sex robot and forming an emotional attachment to it. Not one of the couples could give me a firm answer as to whether they would consider the act to be infidelity. All voiced several pros and cons about or with sex robots. So I think that is because that is actually what the design philosophy of these modern sex robots are kind of going for. Trying to create emotional bonds, right?
Well, at least, yeah, the image of one, yeah. I mean, like, but like, so you can't beat the shit out of your robot because that's what it says, right? It's like it will shut down. It's like a dummy mode.
That'd be illegal.
It's like,
what? Do I even bother getting one?
Well, I mean, what is it like gonna damage it? I mean, I've seen movies and shit. You should be able to. It's your property.
Yeah.
And this is where the argument comes in. This is how the global reset happens. You watch.
No problem, Buckley. OBS is actually, and it's also 100% free as well. Voyage says, sex robots are going to get better because there's a lot of sex-deprived humans out there who will get curious enough. I just don't want to get to the point where human population growth stunts and we go extinct.
I don't know if it'll get there. I do think that it would be common though, like if you got a divorce, maybe
Well,
you got a couple kids, and you're like, you know what, dude, I can get a hot bitch for 10 grand,
there's a YouTube
cheaper than a real fucking chick.
there's a YouTube channel. I cannot. I apologize because I can't remember the exact name of the person he talked to, but he was a guy that sells as his profession sex dolls, like real girl sex dolls, and he's a MGTOW. This is big.
Men go their own way.
Men going their own way. He's a MGTOW, and this is very big and popular in the MGTOW community. Are these like high-end, high-quality sex dolls? And he's done a few interviews with him that they literally talked for like 8 hours about this, about the MGTOW community, about incel culture, about sex dolls, about his business and how those things intersect. It's really fascinating. So I would check out Nick Rekieta Law, I think. He does actually live streams every night around like 12 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard Time. And it was months ago. It was like sometime like maybe March where he was doing that. And but I'd recommend checking it out if you can find it. Where he talks to the guy who makes the sex dolls. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating conversation. You don't need to agree with these people, but it's enlightening. So the pros section of this article goes as follows. Factors contributing to an individual's sense of well-being and the use of a sex robot include sexual and perhaps emotional companionship for those who are unable to find human partners. With an advanced enough AI form, a human could form a potentially satisfying relationship with a robotic partner. Those supporting the use of sex robots argue that sexually transmitted diseases are not transmitted through a sex robot. It may release sexual frustrations in those who would otherwise vent in public via sexual harassment or assault, or it's a good tool to learn from and garner sexual experience before having human relations. So, as a learning tool.
Like Lego blocks,
Yeah,
dude.
but like you get your son when he's 13, 14, be like, yo, here's this fuck doll. This was my
That's
fuck
probably
doll.
illegal.
It was
probably illegal.
it was my father's fuck doll. It was his father's father's fuck doll. That's how it's going to go in the future, everybody. Those supporting the use of sex robots argue that sexually... Oh, I already did that one. It may be as simple as a fun addition to the sexual canon for both individuals and couples. Couples who have considered having a threesome even suggest that it may be a healthy alternative to add a sex robot as a third and bypass the complications of including a third human. Finally, in many cases, it's seen to be a natural progression of social interaction for those who are champions of technology. That would be a weird three-way. That would be a boring three-way.
Probably.
That'd be a very boring three-way.
I mean, unless it's like that good.
No, because
But
I
they look
I
that
imagine
good, they act that good.
you know, I have not had a multiple partners at the same time in a long time, since I was in my early 20s. But part of the fun of that is the maelstrom, the unpredictability of it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sucking my dick?
Well, you
Sucking
put
my
her in
dick?
unpredictability mode, and you're good.
Is that the mode?
That's the mode, dude. Unpredictability. Just be unpredictable. She comes out with like a fucking knife and she just starts stabbing you to death. That's probably what I think would unpredictable. Be the most unpredictable thing to happen at that moment, honestly.
Maverick says, "Oh, that was great. It's 5 o'clock I'm assuming in the morning, and I'm outside having a cigarette. My neighbor's de-icing the car, and my earbuds unplugged, only for Sean to blurt sex robots. Always here to help, buddy."
Hell yeah, dude.
So those are
Your
some.
neighbor's a cool guy.
So what do you think of it? Any of these pros stick out to you as like?
I mean, I
Interesting.
do see where they're coming from as far as like you got a guy that maybe has anxiety about having, sexual relations with a female because of the lack of experience at a certain age. But if you're gonna spend $10,000, like you might as well just go to a prostitute at that point.
Yeah, you might as well get a plane ticket to Amsterdam and just go to the red light.
Yeah,
district.
and just pound your brains out for like.
Although, I mean, you could have but this is in your closet. You just wheel it out when you want it, I suppose. I mean, it's a long-term investment. You can't always be buying plane tickets to Amsterdam and having sex with prostitutes, but you can always open your closet door.
I understand that, but it's also there's got to be some sense of. It depends on how good they are. If these things are like,
Dan's like
human level.
Dan's like, I'm in.
If they're Detroit become human level and they're like people,
Will
Like
you-
they're real?
Will you become a robot sympathizer? Will you be fighting for their plight, their cause?
Probably, dude. I'm a Republican. What do you think, dude? That's what, of course. That's what we've always done.
Voyage says, I don't know, man. Fascinating, but a rigid robot that could malfunction at any moment and hurt you in some irreversible way. I don't know, man. Well, there is going to be a lot of ripped dicks in the future.
You
A
know
lot of
what?
guys are going to get their dicks like fucking bitten off by a robot. That's for sure.
You know what? You know what,
happening.
dude? You probably would have kept riding your horse while everyone had a car, huh? That would have been you.
You would have been that motherfucker. Horse and buggy, and I'm zipping
Yeah.
by in my brand new Ford.
Yeah.
Going 17 miles an hour where you're going 12. Sucker.
I would be like, well, that's what you know. It's like I got the new PlayStation 5. It came out. And I'm just sitting there hoping I got a good model, you know? So you got to just let them work out all the bugs on the first, you know, few million people that use them. And then, you know, that's probably like a 5-year deal. And you'll be like, all right, these must be pretty reliable, you know?
Voyage says, fuck yes, horses require skill, man. Well, that's true. Just like in the art of making love, also requires skill.
That's true, man. I don't know. What do you think about it? I don't know. What do you think?
What are the pros of it?
Yeah, like, do you think there's anything
It's the most pablum, just basic bitch shit. Like, it's just like these things like, oh, you know, maybe we could have a crazy threesome. It's like, no, that's not realistic. I mean, the most realistic. I mean, it's realistic in a sense, but anybody that's actually interested in having a threesome, I can't imagine that's going to be like a thing. But I think maybe what you said about like the people with anxiety, MGTOW people, like maybe it's a salve for that. Like, I don't want to be involved with women because I hate them because they've destroyed my life in the past, but I still want to get my fuck on.
I mean, it's just like, but that is like
I got this
an
robot.
immature view of, you know, and also it's women who try to say that they're our equals. They're not. Like, you know, like let's just not.
Dan's like, let's just lay the cards out on the table, okay? If you can be replaced by a robot, how good are you actually? Maverick says, Dan seems interested. Has anyone else used a fleshlight asking for a friend? You know what?
Honestly,
I never have.
I have when I was deployed. Yeah, it's honestly, it's not that great, you know, but I'm a grip and rip type of dude, not a grip and slip, you know? I'm not a slipper. So I'm more of a grip and rip, you know, like I grip it and I get it going. So I don't use a lot of lubrication, but it's okay. I would give it like for me, it was like a 5. Did I ejaculate? Yes.
A lot.
Yeah. So it was all right.
No, I've never used one. I'm like, you know, not to be TMI or anything, but yeah, I don't use lubricant when I masturbate. I never have.
Yeah, neither have I, dude.
Don't do it. Don't believe in it.
I did for a little while when I was younger. Like I tried antibacterial soap and it got in my pee hole.
There you go. You learn your lesson. You're like, I gotta learn how to do
horrible.
this. Otherwise, I feel like if you have like become conditioned to need lubricant to masturbate, like you're fucked, buddy. Like me, I can drop trow anytime I want and just fucking just get it done. I don't need some sort of presupposition. I don't need a precursor. I don't need any setup. I'm just ready to go.
Did you know Bill Clinton used to masturbate in the Oval Office bathroom and come in the sink?
Chad.
That's a true story.
Chad moves.
If you didn't know, you can look it up, dude. Look it up.
Look it up. It's in that book. You know, that guy with that beard wrote it.
All I can say is Eddie Bravo would say, just look into it. Just
look into it, man. Just look into it.
Yeah.
All right, here's the cons. Now we're going to go through the cons now that people that he interviewed brought up. For as many pros that can be listed, those who are against the integration of sex robots into society are quick to point out the potential problems this new technology will cause. First, when it comes to couples, there's the moral question of whether or not having sex with an AI is an act of infidelity. For many of the arguments against sex robots, morality comes into play. Some see having sexual relations with a female robot as an act of furthering the idea of women as objects in the perceptions of some men. Dan, the pro-robot revolution has begun.
Like what?
It starts tonight.
Like anyone who, like, you know, if like a woman runs your life, it sucks. But if a man runs a woman's life, it's not a bad life.
It's actually productive and fruitful. Not really, guys. Calm down, everybody. Furthermore,
saying that, I'm dead serious as fuck. I'm dead serious.
Dan's not dead serious.
I am dead serious.
Dan cannot speak to something he does not know.
Listen, I'm not married, but I've been in a lot of fucking one night stands, and I ran that shit into the ground.
So you can
No.
trust me when it comes to relationship advice. You come to me. Furthermore, they feel as if the person who is predisposed towards sexual aggression or harassment will be fueled by using a sex robot for their negative future actions. This may even go so far as to embolden those who crave non-consensual sex. This is the very reason that many are concerned about companies producing sex robots in the form of children.
Oh, I was thinking that. That was my first con.
Yeah.
After watching Mouthy, MOUTHYBUTTHA. Check them out, dude. Bitch shoot. Fucking blow your mind.
Okay.
The shit
All right.
people will do, man.
Well,
Fucking
we're going to read this last paragraph, then we'll kind of break it down. Overall, there is a fear that robotic partners will result in a reduction of human empathy. There is a concern that misplaced emotions connections will have negative psychological consequences for the vulnerable. Lastly, some worry the interactional dynamics amounting from the use of the sex robots providing unrealistic expectations when an individual moves from sex with a robot to human sex. So, yeah, there's some interesting stuff here because they are actually developing child sex robots as something to mitigate pedophilia.
Okay, so that's like the same question as when people say, oh, well, there's already all this child porn out in the world, so why don't we just let people view that and
Yeah,
then
which is-
not allow the
yeah,
production of more?
Yeah, I know, which is a ridiculous thing because somebody was still victimized in the creation of it, and they say, well, what's the harm after the fact? It's like a principle thing. It's a
What's
principle
the
thing.
harm?
It's a
Oh,
principle
not
thing,
even-
sorry.
It's beyond principle. Oh, it's so gross.
Voyage says, if that robot can make new thoughts that are original and is sentient on the same level of humans in all for it. So if this robot can basically become like,
Detroit Become Human.
yeah,
Yep.
then he's down. Dan, did you ever know a girl called Disney character when you were at RAF Kenneth? I don't know, man. Child sex robots, there's something wrong with people. I wonder how well paid sex robot technicians each other will be. They have like warehouse. It's weird. There's if you look into this stuff, like there are people
Aren't
have
they?
people have
aren't
gone.
in Japan already making like childlike.
Yes, they are.
Dolls?
It's a very niche thing, and the psychological community. There's been a lot of research done about is this something to mitigate or help people that have pedophilia problems.
Nothing's better than the real thing. We all know that. There's a reason why when a guy buys a V6 fucking Mustang, he's got to get the V8. It's just not the same.
He's just got that's the concern is that like you have your fantasies or whatever.
It's
and,
like cuties, dude.
Will it be enough at some point?
Like, look at cuties.
Will it not be enough?
Sean?
Rather, look
Just
at
to let you know, Sean,
look at cuties.
Mouthy Booty exposes it.
Listen, if anybody wants to know, I did a review with my wife of cuties a couple months
And they
ago.
stood up for it like fucking scum.
Did not
Self-
actually. I did not stand up for it, but had a more reasonable conversation about it.
Sean, listen, go. You know what? Go watch Mouthy Buddha. I'll send you the video.
When
I'll send you
we
the
get
video.
off stream, I'll go watch it.
It's fucking wild shit, bro. Cuties is all involved. But I mean, what is? Okay, well, we take all the kid weird shit out of it. It would be. It is gonna happen. This is going to happen. This is basically what this article's saying. It's happening. We're gonna see it in probably what? I give it 20 years. We'll probably be at a place where it's more and more likely.
Of course, no. It's the evolution of the sex toy.
Dude,
of the
maybe the
fleshlight,
VA
right?
will give me a free one.
Hey, who knows? Because you have to help you with your mental problems. Maverick wants to know: can you not say that person's name on the stream? And Dan was at Lakenheath, right?
Lakenheath? No, I was not. No, I wasn't at Lakenheath, Maverick.
I just
I
don't
was
want to
at,
say the person's name because I don't want there to be like if that's a pseudonym, okay, but I don't want somebody to find this in the future and go looking for that person.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
what-
I wasn't at Lakenheath, man. I was in Turkey for a little while, for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. And then you probably work with people, honestly, who fucking know me.
I'm
And
known out there,
I know
boy.
people who work at Milton Hall and Lakenheath. You probably know people, dude. If you're security forces, then definitely you probably know people that know me. Ask around about Dan Deegan. They'll know. Someone will.
The legends
find
are far and wide.
I don't know, dude. I think it's pretty wild, man. I don't think there is any ability to say that if we do hit a peak or a point where it's normalized, because obviously in the beginning, having a sex robot is not something you're going to tell your family.
Well, maybe it'll be normalized where you will. I don't know.
Because wouldn't that be the whole thing about like the next evolution of our sexual?
Well, let me ask you a question. You're married
Art.
or you're dating somebody, and you come home, and they're fucking going to town with a sex robot. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't think I'd be okay with
Is
it.
it a
but then again,
dildo? Is it a dildo at the end of the day?
giant, yeah, it's a dildo that could probably fuck your wife better than you can. That
Well,
fucker
most
is
dildos,
scary.
most dildos probably can. Dan, have you seen some of these
Probably.
things?
I have, dude. They spin it and everything. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think it would be something that I would want personally, unless only I could enjoy it. You know, if I could only enjoy it and she couldn't, then we could talk. No, I don't know, man. I don't know about it.
Void
Yeah.
says, quote unquote, how's it broken? Sitting in the corner, arm ripped off. I don't know, no, man. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna find a lot of that, and I think you already do find a lot of that. That's why when they were talking about earlier in the article, they were talking about that Samantha robot. They were like, yeah, if you get too aggressive, it just turns off. That's that's
But it's such a weird thing to even have. Like, what happens if you want to
No, because-
smack her? a little
yeah,
bit,
because they
you
know that like people that have like intense violent fantasies buy these things and beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you allow that? If they're even talking about fucking
Dan's like,
children.
Dan's like, is this America or not? Can I beat
Well,
up my robot or not, bruh?
No, I'm just saying though, like if you're gonna advocate for somebody to be able to possibly simulate molesting a child,
Well,
then we should also
yeah,
advocate
well,
for someone to be able to simulate violence.
yeah, but those things are being built to stop. Hopefully, I suppose, like a certain behavior.
right,
They don't.
So
I don't.
would rather a guy beat the shit out of something he paid for versus a fucking human being.
Yeah, but no. But the problem, I think there's a tie between sexuality and violence. So you bring up an interesting point. Does this actually develop the behavior because they can do it? Like, does it actually alleviate them of the need to actually do it in the real world? That's the question, right? And I don't know the answer to that. I don't. Void says, never left the U.S., sadly, to be honest. I want to see the world, but it's so expensive. I've been to Canada and I've been to Mexico, and that's it. I've always wanted to go to Europe. I plan to at some point. Me and my friend Big Paul, we're planning to save up about $20,000 and just rip through Europe when we're about 42.
Good luck.
Maverick,
Good luck.
I believe this is to you, Dan. Maverick has something for you if you want to read it.
Just live next to like his cousin is an eagle. Oh, you're an eagle driver. Okay. Well, that's pretty wild though, man. That you fucking out there. So I know I'm not, dude. I live here. My cousin is based here randomly. He was born and raised in the U.S. Coincidence. He got posted here, like I said before. I'm a dual pass. Dude, that's fucking wild. Still, dude, man. It's such a small world, man. Is your cousin security forces? Because that would be even crazier. It's good to have you here, man. Maverick, what a fucking wild time. Just fucking ripping, smoking stokes, smoking cigarettes, living. I don't know, man. I just don't know what the future has to hold about sex robots, but I can tell you this much. If the price is right.
Let's do it.
If the price is right.
Let's do it
you
now.
know? Because the same thing is like, okay, well then they shouldn't allow anal.
Well, technically, some places it's illegal, but no, that's not true. What are you talking about? Why?
No, because sodomization, being like sodomizing somebody is not technically a natural state, and
Yeah, but
neither
we're
is
not-
beating
yeah,
somebody.
but we're not-
What? Oh, hold on.
No, one takes
What?
consent.
Oh my God! Stop. Let me finish. So, if we're talking about somebody who's like consenting to being beaten, like BDSM stuff, like what happens if you have, like, you know what I mean? Like people do consent to that type of shit.
Yeah, maybe you have to like ask the robot makers, be like, yo, I'm kind of into BDSM. I don't take it too far, but
But like maybe a limb.
maybe they have
Maybe a
some
limb
sort of
goes away.
pain threshold algorithm they can develop for those kind of people. I don't know.
Dude, I don't know. You see what I'm saying though? It's like just let people do it. They buy it. It's their property. Just like back in the day of slaves, you just did it. It just no one questioned anything.
All right, this is
Because
what
honestly, that's going to be the next like argument for the progressives is going to be, oh, robots are people. You know, that will be the argument.
that's someday probably. Yeah. This is what the science says about all of this stuff. So we've heard about the people that this guy interviewed and surveyed. The science says, as of now, studies on public attitudes towards sex robots are far from reaching a point of saturation. Scientists may be shying away from the topic for reasons that range from viewing it as a novelty discussion to being too embarrassed to pursue it as a research study. However, the topic of sex robots does have a moral, psychological, and social relevance that merits serious study. As it stands, there are wide admitted gaps in current studies. So this guy, this writer of Psychology Today, is trying to shame the scientific community.
And like, if you look at this guy's
Into, like,
picture,
he's
he
like-
looks like a guy that would use a sex robot.
He's like, yo, you got to do some research on sex robots, guys. What's the holdup? Maverick says, how does the warranty warranty work on a sex robot? And what's the used market like? Actually, if you
10,000 bangs, that's what it's covered
if you
under.
go listen to that, if you go find that interview I was talking about, that exists. Nick
wonder if they
Ricada
do,
Law,
like-
go find the sex robot MGTOW guy. He talks to him for like 8 hours. They actually talk. They cover this because that is a real thing. There is used sex robot market.
Listen, I've met dudes personally, like when I was serving in the military, that masturbated so frequently and so much that their dick was raw and like they had to go, see like a doctor. Like that's how much they, and like, if this guy had access to a fucking sex toy or a sex robot, like I would actually be hopeful for him, because I've met these, very incel type of people. Like they don't bathe properly, they don't, I've worked with quite a few of them, honestly, and there is something to be said that would this be able to help them like normalize and have some sort of like social. But then again, I guess it comes down to the same thing that we were talking about earlier with Tinder. It changes the dynamic, because if you can have the perfect pussy, the perfect ass, the perfect tits, the perfect, fucking everything, it kind of the whole point of like being human is the imperfection. You know what I mean? Like that is the fun part about it, I guess. It would ruin that. It would ruin that mystery.
Yeah, it's very deep.
It's deep, dude. I'm tired, and I'm on that level right now.
All right,
It's all right.
We'll finish up here. In one recent study by Coverla, Dicerno, Palamaki, Halanan, Canari, Ripa, blah, 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 participants generally considered sex with a robot to be sex, with the robot perceived as a robot. In a bordello environment, participants viewed paying for sex with a robot as being more acceptable than paying human sex workers. So people feel like it's more of a safe alternative.
Well, like you rent it out, like for an hour?
Yeah, so if you go to a whorehouse and
Yeah.
you could be like, yo, you can get these robots, or you get these
As
ladies.
a guy who's been to a whorehouse, it's fun.
Well, what I'll say this though, I think a whorehouse is important in the sense like you could have like these meek young guys, anxiety ridden dudes, and if you can at least get them at the whorehouse, they'll have to go see a whore. But if we give them the option to have sex with an inanimate object, basically, like they're gonna take their sex robot, so it's not a good thing. Maverick says, so more robots putting people out of work. Exactly.
Yeah, dude, that's a good point too. Why don't we just legalize the sex industry completely
Well,
and
you can
just
make
let
it
people
safe
do
and-
whatever? Well, safe and regulated. You have to get tested and shit, and
Void
and like if whatever.
Void says, I think the human warmth would beat out the coldness of a robot, even if they have some sort of heating system. I would hope so. As a guy that has sex, I think I would agree.
As a guy that does have sex, yes. I don't know though, man. Like I would test one out. I would be like, I
You
would
take it
try
for a spin? You take it for
I
a
would
spin,
definitely
buddy?
take it. What am I, a fucking degenerate? Of course, I'll be for science. This guy needs help.
It's like I'm
This
a
guy's asking
pioneer.
for help.
I'm
Yeah.
fucking out here fucking
Call me.
changing the
call
world.
Call me Elon Tusk, okay? Like, cause I'll get out there, dude. I'll be in it.
I'll be doing
Great
it.
movie, Tusk. Tusk. That's another good horror movie.
It's okay.
Fun horror movie. It's fun.
It's okay.
I liked it. I like it. It's
All
fun.
right,
It's great.
let's finish up the article. Another study by Schutz and Arnold produced data that pointed to women being less inclined to use sex robots than men, and millennials finding having sex with robots being less appropriate than older generations. Of course, dudes, we're going to fuck robots. Dudes will fuck watermelons. Dudes will fuck bananas. Dudes will like banana skins. Like, dudes are fucking horny
Gross.
people.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. They're gross.
That's not a shock to me. You know?
No, definitely not.
In case the Schultz and Arnold study, in the case of the Schultz and Arnold study, the researchers concluded that attitudes toward using sex robots have less to do with what a sex robot is or how sex with a robot is categorized than they do with different takes on the conditions and purposes of both personal relationships and society's interests. So it's kind of like this line of like, oh, well, I get away with it. Like, will somebody think this is something that is bad? I guess it's the same thing with like a fleshlight, right? Like, most people would probably be kind of embarrassed to admit, like, yeah, I have a fleshlight.
I wouldn't be.
I would.
I would be.
I've
Why?
never owned a male sex toy in my entire life.
Well,
I get it done, dude. I don't need to.
no, I was given to me by a friend actually. She gave me one, and I was like, oh, I'll try it out. It's all right, and it's not. I'm not saying I had the highest quality one either. You know.
Oh, you borrowed it from somebody else?
No,
The
it was a
plot
girl.
thickens.
A girl bought me one. That was a friend of mine.
She bought you a fleshlight?
Yeah, as like a
Oh.
joke or whatever.
And she said,
you know, and I
"Remember
was
me."
like, yeah, and I was like, oh, yeah, it was pretty good. It was all right. It wasn't great. Like, you know, I've seen dudes do some depraved shit with fleshlights. I saw a dude cut a hole in a mattress, and then he put it in there, like, pushed it in.
I guess you got to do what you got to do when you're out in the field.
Yeah. Oh, when you're out in the field, dude, you gotta fucking. And he just have a cum-filled fucking, like, it was so gross.
He's like, he just looks at you, clean it. What? Fucking.
You've
Void.
never smelled old cum, have you? Old cum. Oh.
Void says, "Oh geez, I'd be down until after I can be assured I'm not going to be hurt badly." So he's got to protect the cock. He's going to protect number one.
Good job, boy. It's just a good idea.
Maverick says, "How many other potential buyers have test driven that particular unit, though?" Probably a lot. And you have to say, like, you gotta have faith in the engineers and the craftsmen that this thing is not going to be old, worn out
that's the
pussy.
thing. Listen,
Because let me tell you something. Real women
don't
can
buy
get worn
first
out.
gen. Don't buy first gen. Make sure it's been updated like at least 5 or 6 times. 'Cause
Pro tip.
PlayStation 5, it's got a couple bugs. Nothing crazy, nothing big. Mine's fine.
Nothing firmware can't fix. Yeah.
But like, it would be kind of the equivalent of maybe her wrapping her legs around you and trying to squeeze the life from you, but just for like a couple seconds. Oh, she got a little fucking hard there, you know?
Like Xenia Onatop from GoldenEye, but not as
Not
evil.
as dead. Not as
evil.
dead. Just, yeah, not as hard. But just enough to let you know she's there.
So certainly the introduction of sex robots changes the landscape of human interaction and intimacy, but how and to what extent are the unanswered questions? It is the responsibility of researchers to get ahead of this. More shaming, more he's like, you guys aren't talking about sex robots enough.
Yeah.
Get out there and do your jobs.
Well, it just kind of goes to say is this is going to be so long in the future before we really know. I mean,
Well, it's already out there, but I would say as a normalized thing, like 25 years.
this is like the same guy pre the like integration of blacks and whites in America.
He's a
Like, some
pioneer.
guy came out
So
and wrote
this
that
is the
article, he's
Jim
like,
Crow of sex robots.
Some people are gonna feel like the black women. You know what I mean? Like they probably
Yeah,
wrote
dude,
shit
this
like
is
that.
this is the Jim Crow of sex robots, Dan. I think
Dude,
you
it
nailed
really is. I'm
When
telling you,
are we
dude.
gonna get a Selma for sex robots, right?
Never.
And we've just been pulled off of YouTube.
Yeah.
What are the socio-psychological implications? Can a robotic partner ever truly be a substitute for the human experience? Will sex robots be viewed as little more than the latest advancement in sex toys? Does the industry need oversight? And if so, who would impartially provide such oversight? In a world where sex sells, there will always be someone willing to provide anything for $1. We have to ask these questions and pose hypotheticals in preparation for a time when science fiction shifts to the reality of our socio-sexual world. This is a thirsty writer.
Okay,
This guy
is
wants
what
it bad.
This is until they hit a certain level of like authenticity. Like once they hit like a really high peak of like, yeah, you might argue. You go on a business trip, you go down to the you rent one, it comes to your room, you bang it out, and it's whatever. Maybe something you probably don't tell your wife, but you don't have to worry about bringing home an STD. That's probably what the future of it really, because ultimately, if a human being has an option to be with another human being, that is going to be the general consensus. Even if they do have one of these things, it's kind of like, when you date a girl and you have a motorcycle, and it was cool when you had a motorcycle and it was fun. But then after you guys get married, it's like the motorcycle's got to go because it's too expensive, it's too dangerous. So you got to turn in the motorcycle, and maybe you got to just get a regular, you get a minivan. It's a human, like, especially men will alter their aggressiveness for, a human being. Like that's what I think will happen. It might be a thing you do, like you said, like you pay for it. You pay $150 and you get your kicks, and then you never really fuck. I don't think it'll be like a thing you have in your home.
No, Dan, people already do. That's what I'm saying.
No, I know, but I'm talking about the rule, Sean, not the exception. I'm talking about the rule.
No, it'll probably always be somewhat of a niche thing, but do you think like regular sex toys are also kind of niche?
No, it's not about it being knit.
Because of
like,
some.
Sean, if your wife's dildo grew legs and arms and a head and said, "You're coming with me," it's like most women would probably be like, "Nah."
No. What I'm saying is, on a long enough timeline, like this could be a staple in people's lives, like kind of like what Voyage was saying earlier. Like, is this part of the Great Reset type of ideology, the philosophical opinions of it? Like, if you can be sated by a machine, you can tell you jokes, you can talk philosophy, you can talk about books, movies, whatever. You will develop a fake relationship with that thing, and for some people, that will be enough.
I mean, I'm not saying for some people it wouldn't be, but if you take a guy that is, dating a girl in WoW, and like they're dating, whatever, like hold on,
what if
and
then
then a real woman comes to them.
Yeah, but what if you can get a sex robot and like leave the laptop on, and you both are on sex robots in a chat?
I'm not saying it's not possible. I just don't think it's going to take a lot longer than probably in the next 30, 40, I may be wrong, before you can actually simulate that properly.
Jeez,
like to have that simulated experience,
No, but some people don't need like the full experience. Some people just need to bust a nut. Like, I'm telling you, everybody, go check out that interview with the guy who sells sex robots now, and we're talking high end, $5,000 to $10,000 sex robots.
And like, dude, Voyage is right. Cost will be a major aspect. So how long will I say who start simping for the robots? Robophobic will be a term. Will I mean the phobics and the isms and current times are insane? They are. If it's sentient to a human level, truly, I'm fine with it. I mean, I'm not. If it's sentiency, then we have to come into the efficacy of: is it property? Is it yours? Did I just spend $10,000 on a thing that's just gonna walk up and move on me?
Or it's gonna leave.
What the fuck? Yeah, you're like, well, what the fuck is? Because if it's sentient, then it's not a robot.
Well, that's what happens in that.
What all these movies are made about.
That's what happens in the Spike Jonze movie, Her.
Yeah,
like at the end of the movie, the UIs or the AIs
spoiler
are just
spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's a fucking old movie. It's about the journey, not the destination, big people. But they're just like, we've moved beyond like this paradigm, and we're not interested in having a relationship with you. So we're gonna fuck off to the inside of the web, inside of the internet. This happens at the end of that movie. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Man gets rejected by a real woman and by an artificial intelligence. Very dark stuff. Very dark stuff.
But there's just something to be said that we can always. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, if they could do a thing, if they could create a robot that is exactly like basically down to a cellular level, they're basically human beings, then there is no difference and there is no point in doing it, because if they have free will and they have the ability to, like, you know what I mean? If they're sentient, there would be so many laws. I mean, dude, we're already running into crazy shit
Like, yeah, think about like, internet autonomy where we really don't have it when we think we do, and they're bitching about it now. What happens when it comes to the age of robots?
Yeah, kind of like the Matrix 4, Dan.
Yeah, probably rebirth. I know.
Dan, I cracked the code.
You've cracked it. I don't know.
Maverick,
I don't know.
Maverick says, I was just about to watch her. Well, my friend, you'll still be okay. You'll be all right.
See, you're a fucking spoiler, Sean. That's what you are.
No, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. Don't worry about it. Forget it.
Organic synthetic robots. So you mean like half human, half
Polymimetic, alloy. Like
as long as she runs off
2.
diesel, we'll be good. And it's the thing, like, oh my god, with the lithium batteries in this bitch, like, oh, dude, be like, how long would it last? You got like 45 minutes on a good charge. Wait until the iPhone iPhone starts doing it. Once iPhone gets in on it, we can talk. Or Apple, or whatever the fuck they're called. And they have to be made by Uyghurs specifically, because we know they have quality hands and they make quality products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is important.
Yeah.
All right, Dan. Do you feel good about the stream? You feeling good, my friend?
Yeah, man. I'm good, man.
Any place else you would like to go, or any final parting words? Anything like
Nah,
that?
man. It's fucking Trump 2020. It ain't over till it's over. Dominion. Look up Sidney Powell on Twitter, dude. She's fucking got, she's the Kraken. I don't know, man. I don't know if I believe anything, but we'll talk about a little bit more tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night we'll be prepared. You do the
We're-
same thing. We're gonna try to get make
we're
sure we
gonna
have
do-
our ducks in a row.
10 Eastern tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. 10 Eastern tomorrow, guys. We'll be talking about some of that stuff. It'll be fun.
So we will be back tomorrow night, and look forward to that'll be a Zoobox live stream. The nightcaps, they're going to be these weird little things that we do just whenever the fuck ever. Sometimes it'll be just me. Sometimes Dan will be here.
Yeah.
It's
But
just
every
weird.
Wednesday and Friday for sure, drop by.
Yeah, every Wednesday night for sure. We will be
Wednesdays
doing,
at 10 Eastern and Fridays are 8:30 Eastern.
Yeah. That's what we're working with right now until further notice. But
Yes.
anyways, hey, Maverick, Voyage, thanks so much for chilling. Thanks for talking. Thanks for giving us some feedback, things to talk about.
Yeah, dude, it's a good time, dude. It really is. It's fun.
And, keep in touch. We'll be around. And we
Don't
really,
forget, dude.
really enjoy these special moments we have together.
Yes, and don't forget to go down into the comments or the what's that shit called, John? Description, and find our fucking shit. So if you guys want to email us, message us, whatever.
Yeah. So if you want to follow us, all of the stuff is in the description. We got Facebook, we got Instagram, we got Twitters. So we got everything. And we got a little bit of everything in there, okay? If you would like to email us at any points, if you'd like to be on the show at some point, email us at zooboxpodcast@gmail.com. That's where we will communicate with you. Or on Twitter. If you want to DM us on Twitter, we'll also do that as well.
Hell yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see ya in the future with sex robots and the Matrix layers.
Blade Gunner.